running late, so
Yep.
good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone. Welcome to NerdTube, and the world has gone insane. I'm your host Zam with Gaz and Christine. How you guys doing?
I'm alright,
Good,
thank you.
good.
Lots to talk about this week, but first of all, fresh off the press, unfortunately, I've got some bad news. A legendary actor, somebody we all watched growing up, Carl Weathers, has died today at the age of a very young 76 for a man of his physical fitness. I couldn't believe when I found this out, and I only found this out within the last hour, which is why it's still hitting me pretty hard. But the last person I expected to die was Carl Weathers. I mean, the guy the last few years he's been making the Mandalorian, directing the Mandalorian episodes as well. He like this was unexpected to say the least. And if you know anything about Carl Weathers, he was a sports star before he became a movie star. Obviously, a natural fit as a movie star, as he's shown some range over the last few years. But he was also a fitness fanatic. I mean, yeah, I know he did smoke the odd cigar, and he kind of got that habit from meeting Arnie on the set of Predator. But still, if you look at him, the guy is in peak physical condition, and for him to die at 76 was a bit of a shocker. Regardless, he's gone. Rest in peace, Carl Weathers. Gaz, you got anything to say?
Yeah, it's just sad. I mean, because he should have been a bigger star than he was. Because he was jacked. He was a really good charismatic actor. Like he was always great for his Apollo Crews, and he was great as Dylan, you son of a bitch, in Predator. So. Those are the two roles I remember him. He was in Action Jackson as well, which was good. It was great to see him back in the Mandalorian when he was there. So
Yeah,
it's
Grief Karga.
yeah, but I mean, as I said, it's just a shame that he never got a bigger career because he had the charisma, he had the look, he was jacked, he seemed like a nice guy, he's like a professional from what everyone said about him.
Daniel Vance, he wasn't Lando. That was Billy D. Williams, mate. Um, who also was Harvey Dent in the first Batman movie, but never got to portray him in Batman Forever, unfortunately. The way he was supposed to be as Two Face, that is. They gave it to Tommy Lee Jones for some reason. Um, anyway, Chris, you got anything to say regarding the departure of Carl Weathers? No, you never liked him in the Rocky films, and
Oh, no, I did. I think you guys covered it all.
pardon me.
I think everyone covered it very nicely.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. I just want to add to it as well. Yeah, obviously I loved him in Predator. I've always felt that his character Predator felt very similar to that of Apollo Creed. Loud, charismatic guy. But then when he was in stuff like Happy Gilmore, where he played Tubbs, the legendary golfer with one hand, and he started doing more comedies. There's a really good clip of him playing himself in Arrested Development. It's a really good clip. Um, Very funny. He started doing more of the comedy, and then he played a more regal man in Mandalorian. It really showed his range to a degree, and the guy could direct too. So yeah, I'm just shocked. I expected him to live to his 80s at least. To go at 76. I mean, I'm shocked by that. I mean, that's way too young nowadays. People live a lot longer. 76 is just too young.
Yeah, my dad's 74. It's a scary thought.
Yeah, my dad's
Yeah.
72 and he's still with us.
Yeah, my dad's 85 and he's still with us. My mum died when she was 67, but that was because of cancer. I don't think there was any. I don't know what. I mean, I don't want to just say old age. I think there might be a little bit more to it regarding what happened to Carl. But hopefully, within the coming days, maybe some more revelations will get found out regarding him. Excuse me, I do apologize. It's been a long day. So we're going to talk before we move on to other things, and we are moving on to other things right now. But I want to get this one portion out of the way because there's a lot to talk about this one individual before we move on to some of these other people, and that individual is Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Vince McMahon. I'm not sure you must have heard the news about him, Chris. Yeah, Vince McMahon, a good friend of Donald Trump. A lot of people call him Donald Trump on steroids. Donald Trump with fucking, who if he went to Mr. Universe. But yes, Vince McMahon, somebody we all kind of knew. Hey, hold on a second. Get out of here. Get out of it. Get out of it. There we go. Vince McMahon, we all knew that he was a bit of a fucked up individual. But now, finally, with some revelations of somebody who he has fucked over, and not only fucked over, but shitted over as well.
Literally.
All those things about him, which a lot of people thought were genuinely him, like the character of Mr. McMahon on television was genuinely him. He was playing himself. If anything, the person that you see behind the scenes on camera is probably a caricature, and the real Mr. McMahon is the Mr. McMahon he portrays himself to be on television. This is a guy who wants people to fucking kiss his ass. Rumors are saying that he wanted to do an incest angle with Stephanie and Shane, for fuck's sake. This is a person who said some terrible things about his daughter and ended up having a wrestling match with her. You can see the comparisons with him and Trump just on that alone. Obviously, him and Trump have been very good mates. Him and Trump have been involved in several WrestleManias, whether they've been held at Trump locations like the Trump Trump Towers, I believe, or Trump Taj Mahal, I believe it was in Atlantic City, in the late 80s, or Trump being involved in a WrestleMania alongside Bobby Lashley. I think it was WrestleMania 23. I believe. Are you with me on that? Boss man?
Yeah, I think you're right with Bobby Lashley and the manga. Yeah, I'm just gonna say, just a trigger warning for people. We're about to talk about some very dark stuff to do with sexual assault, rape and stuff like that. So if any of that is triggering for you, please turn off now, because for the next at least about 10-20 minutes while we discuss it. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you very much for that, boss man. So Vince McMahon, we all know he allegedly has assaulted an employee who was working with him called Janelle Grant. She was in a very tricky situation. She was a young girl who lost her mum and dad at an early age, and she was looking. Bankruptcy was on the cards for her. She really needed a helping hand, and Vince McMahon, like a knight in shining armor, came along and said he'll take care of her. But obviously, he had other intentions, and I think one of the times he basically created a job for her. Like there was no real position for her. He just made something up so she could work there. And after that, he I think it was maybe his first interview or meeting with her. He met her in his fucking underwear, which was incredible.
We discussed this last week, where he was like being very vulnerable with her. I kind of like got her to put a guard down and stuff like that, because apparently, like he said, he was lonely because him and Linda had been broken up. Well, they've been separated, not divorced, but they've been separated for I think it's about over a decade.
Because for the sake of keeping up appearances, which is why I have such an issue with the Republican Party, is that they would pretend that they're still married, whilst Linda McMahon was, was a part of Trump's cabinet at one point. I mean, I'm not sure if she still is now, but she definitely was after 2016. And obviously, Linda McMahon had aspirations of being a politician, which is one of the reasons why WWE went PG as well. Sorry, apologize. Come on, get out of there. Get out of there. So,
and he's testing the waters with her by coming in like that right off the bat.
Yeah,
he was grooming her. He was grooming because Janelle Grant.
Yeah. So I watched just before this. There's a couple of YouTubers who do really good wrestling content. One of them is a British guy. His name's Jamie, but he does a show with Dutch Mantel, and they're going into sort of specifics around this.
I saw that show.
Yeah.
I saw that. Yeah, I've been watching a lot of wrestlers have got YouTube channels now.
Yeah.
I saw the one with Rennie Dupree. I saw obviously Jim Cornette, Dutch Mantel. I didn't like the one with Vince Russo. My God, Vince Russo and his New York style fucking bullshit just drives me fucking nuts. Can't handle him anymore.
Check out Oliver Peace. He's from the UK. He's a wrestler.
Yeah. And there was another one as well. Shane Douglas as well. I checked him when that is out. Everyone was giving their opinions. Rob Van Dam was giving his opinion. Well, Rob Van Dam was rolling fucking joints as he's giving his opinion. Awesome. Anyway, he's always been known as the wrestler who smokes weed. Anyway, regardless, let me just read this quick comment here. It'll be interesting to see if stories like Rita Chatterton gain traction again now that Vince is under a microscope. I'm sure it will, because just to pass a few things here, we obviously know he treated this girl like shit, passed her around, had threesomes against her will, had all these dildos and shit, and we're naming them after fucking wrestlers.
Let's slow down a little bit. So, one of the claims was that he apparently had dildos of different colors, and the different colors would represent different wrestlers. So, for example, black wrestlers would be represented as black dildos. So, for example, like Apollo Crews or Mike Henry.
I'll be back in like 10.
Oh,
no problem.
Okay. Yeah. So, like and people think he was grooming her in that way to make it okay, because okay to basically share her with some of the roster.
Yeah. He was weird like that as well. But he also, like, what I heard is that he fantasized about her getting, like, he was the type of guy who liked to watch. He was into watching. And what I heard is that he wanted her to be gangbanged by a bunch of black dudes. This is some of the stuff that I've come across. Yeah. This is
because he gets to go there and say that you're a bitch, and you know, and I'm gonna put my show to all my friends and all this sort of stuff, and the only reason he struck it off with what's his name, Johnny Ace.
John Laurinaitis.
Yeah. The reason he called it off there because he said he's a sloppy drunk or something. It's like not that I'm validating your personhood by making you have sex with somebody you don't really want to. Not that shit. Ugh.
Yeah. So this is the thing now, because let me pull this up, because this is the funny thing, because I know for a fact that this is not just hearsay. This has become more real because of the actions of John Laurinaitis recently. I'm just gonna pull this up right now. This is something I found on Twitter. Fortunately, Jose, he showed it to us. Let me just grab it 1 second. Yeah, it's a good possibility, Daniel. You can't get it up anymore. So let me read this article here on Twitter. John Laurinaitis' lawyer claims that John is not a predator but a victim of Vince McMahon, and the truth will eventually come out. Wait! Stop chewing on my wires. All right. The notion of Laurinaitis being a victim is damn right pathetic. It's evident that he went along with it, fully aware of what the consequences might be. Nonetheless, it's not surprising seeing him throw Vince under the bus to save his own hide. His statement all but confirms the allegations.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. This is the one I want to get rid of. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, like, 'cause-
Lauren Laurinaitis is basically all but saying is pretty much that this all genuinely happened, and that he's a victim. So, like, even though Vince McMahon is saying that this is all a lie and shit like that, Lauren Laurinaitis is not saying that's a lie. He's saying that this is the truth, and I'm a victim in all of this. I had to listen to Vince and take his advice and all of this shit. This is,
the thing
if anything, this is cemented.
The thing is that there's a couple of things that I've got rational questions for. One, did you not ask her before you shagged her whether she wanted to have sex with you? That is a question. That's number one. I mean, surely that comes up.
Sorry.
So
quick interjection. Before you shagged her is different from rape. I know I'm nitpicking, but
guys, you got to stop talking like you're a reasonable person. We're talking about unreasonable people here. We're talking about people who've got so much money, that they don't think of reason. When you got someone like Vince McMahon who feels he can tell everybody what to do, he'll give people like these contracts. Independent contracts where independent contractors where they get no benefits, but he's allowed to control them to do whatever he wants to do with them. You're dealing with somebody who's got no morals. So to suggest that he's going to like he knew what he was doing. He was grooming her from.
No, I'm talking about John Laurinaitis. I'm not talking about Vince McMahon.
John Laurinaitis is Vince's right hand man. That he probably can't believe his luck. There he was, some shitty 2-bit wrestler, and now he's one of the top. He was one of the top guys within the WWE company. I mean, he couldn't believe it. He probably it was a remarkable thing for him. Whilst his brother was a more successful wrestler within the Legion of Doom, he himself ended up being the more financial successful wrestler for being one of the head honchos within the WWE. And then he's able to pass people around like Janelle Grant, and he probably loved the power trip.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is that the main thing is that Brock Lesnar has been implicated as being involved in this. Apparently, she was offered as a perk for him to resign. To the point,
Brock's into peeing and stuff. He's into golden showers.
Yeah, but he's not disabled.
It doesn't matter, man. like these guys, like it just doesn't matter with people like Brock Lesnar or Vince McMahon. I'm very disappointed in Brock Lesnar. Regardless of the persona, he plays a tough guy. And he played good guys and bad guys at times within the WWE throughout his career. I just didn't think he was this sort of person outside the ring, which is a shame, really, because it's tarnished the reputation I had for him, the image I had of him. I didn't think he would be like this, and he is, and that's a shame. At first, I almost gave him the benefit of the doubt because I didn't think he was in on it, but now I realize that he was very aware of what had happened. So much so that even within the WWE, they've removed him from the fucking video game. They've removed him from 2K. You know that.
They removed him for that thing. What's it? Supercard game or what the fuck it is?
Yeah, as well. Yeah.
Imagine how you feel when you find out it's someone that you personally know. It's 100 times worse. I mean, like this is someone you see on TV, and
and look,
you probably know someone that hasn't been caught.
I just want to say, I myself was a dickhead around girls when I was very young. I was possessive, I was aggressive, all of these things. But I got put in my place, and then I got to meet certain people during the course of my life, which made me understand things a lot better and tried to make me way more self-aware. And so I try not to ever be that person. And
I was talking about rapists. Sorry.
No. I'm just I know what you were talking about. I'm just talking about myself, just generally what it is to be a man when it comes to being around women. What I mean? Because I've been a dickhead around girls. I really have.
So far.
I really have. But I've learned to improve my behavior and not be that person and have a lot of self-control. Because it's about self. I can still be that dickhead. I can still be that arsehole, if I wanted to, and be very possessive. But I know I shouldn't be, and that requires that self-control element.
And it doesn't work anyway. Being
No.
possessive actually
Yeah.
pushes people away.
I want to
Yeah.
know how much sex one has to have for sex to become so boring that something like golden showers becomes exciting. Well, yeah, when you're like people like Brock Lesnar who's got fucking poon thrown at him from every fucking direction. A lot of wrestlers do get, they're the modern day rock stars. You know, they're fucking groupies all the time. So many stories from town to town, fucking some bird, moving on. You know, they're Adonises physically, and then next thing you know, like they move on to kinky shit because fucking all the time can get a bit mundane.
Yeah.
This stream isn't the
But-
same about Rick B in the comments. I know,
But I do think that when it comes to things like this is when you got the ego to think you're never going to get caught. Because there was nobody who had the stop sign that would come into anybody's mind like, maybe we shouldn't do this. I mean, the thing is, because you're attacking someone who's vulnerable personhood. You know, no way she must have at least one place to say, I don't feel comfortable with this. Apparently, she did say to Vince McMahon on a few occasions, I'm not comfortable with this. And she was trying to leave the relationship. And he wouldn't leave her because he said, if this happens, I'm going to take... And that's something that I didn't really appreciate from Dutch Mantel going back to him, saying, why didn't she just quit? Well, the thing is that if she did that, she's out of paying something that's going to pay her probably hundreds of thousands of pounds a year to do.
yeah, I hear a lot of people saying that. Why didn't you just walk away and all that? But you look at her financial situation. You know, like she was willing to put up with this shit because she was making some bank. And at one particular point, Vince made us sign an NDA, and he's made a few people sign NDAs. It kind of shows you where he stands as a human being, because obviously if he's got people signing NDAs, he's guilty of sin. It's just, and he wasn't eventually paying up. He stopped paying. Probably thought she would be too embarrassed to come out in public. She didn't. She came out in public, and now Vince is, the rest of his career, it will be looked down upon. I never liked Vince McMahon in any aspect. I'll never give him credit for anything. Not for the glory days of wrestling, which weren't the case because he bought out all the territories and made it he monopolized wrestling and made it really difficult for wrestlers to find work elsewhere outside the WWE. Yeah, so fuck him for that, and now fuck him for this. Yeah, because he's just a terrible fucking human being, a despicable person, a narcissist. I fucking despise Vince McMahon, and if he leaves this earth, I'll celebrate. Yeah.
And just to add to that financial thing, it's not just making bank at the job she had there. She probably was threatened with, if you leave, we'll blackball you. You won't get a job somewhere else. You won't be able to afford to pay your bills, to have a home, to feed yourself, because you're not getting a job somewhere else. I know people. I'll put the word out.
Yeah, he was getting people to intimidate her and stuff like that. He would do things like that. But that's the sort of person that he is. Remember, this is the guy who covered for Jimmy Superfly Snuka when he allegedly killed his girlfriend. This is the man who didn't think about the safety of Owen Hart, dropping down from the ring and basically caused his death. And on top of that, let the show continue after he died. Didn't stop the show there and then.
I know.
This is the man
which was run by the Undertaker, by the way.
Yeah, irrelevant. But this is the man.
No, very relevant.
Sorry?
Very relevant.
Why?
Well, think about it. Undertaker feigned death. I could be like, nothing more morbid than that, is there?
Yeah, I'm just thinking about the fact that Owen Hart died. But regardless, just to continue with this, like he let Owen Hart die. He put a carabiner on his back that wasn't going to hold his weight when when him falling down or being carried down from the rooftop. The guy doesn't want to do this. His wife allegedly said that he's a wrestler, not a fucking abseiler. He doesn't want to be flying down to the ring, but his kind of hands are tied a little bit, and this is what happened to him. And then he fucking died, and Vince let the show go on. and no consequences to Vince McMahon on that either. Lita, remember, everyone remembers the live sex celebration with her and Edge. It was one of the most cringiest moments I've ever seen in the WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Lita did not want to do it. Apparently, Edge and even John Cena was trying to talk him out of doing this, but Vince McMahon wanted this, and if Lita didn't do it, she was going to get fired. This is what she said in the podcast, and she had to force to to do a fake porno with Edge in the bed in the ring. Like, what the fuck, you know?
And apparently, and I said the word apparently because you know Paul London, he used to wrestle with WWE.
Yeah, I know Paul London. I saw him on Renee Dupree's podcast.
Yeah. So he apparently dated Ashley Massaro, who committed suicide a few years, and apparently Vince was sexually harassing her, like knocking on the door, asking her to go on like private planes with him, all this shit. When she was in a relationship with Paul London, I'm like the guy's a narcissist who thinks every woman wants to him. Let's not mess the facts. I think at the time he would have been 70 odd. No, he's 70 odd now. He would have been like 50 odd. So he's old enough to be a dad, basically.
Definitely in his 60s. But actually, Massaro, like, she died in the early 40s, I believe. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, she committed suicide. Yeah,
Guys.
Yeah.
Narcissists, entitled, needs and demands attention, prone to jealousy, needs to be right, never apologizes unless it benefits them, manipulative, lies, emotionally immature, always plays the victim, lacks self-awareness, inability to accept the word no, and never takes responsibility, putting the blame on others. That's a list of narcissists.
That's like, for sure.
The official list.
Okay, Liam says Vince McMahon is one of the most insane human beings in history, without a doubt. I mean, he's the worst person you want as your promoter, and unfortunately, people had to work under him, and he fucking screwed over so many of his wrestlers. If you weren't one of his top tier guys, you're always going to get fucked by him. Liam also said, never mind the live sex show, Lita and Edge. Don't forget Crime Time coming out in her last appearance with the box of her panties and sex toys. Yeah, and they did all that stuff about calling her a hoe and all of this sort of shit. You know, and also on top of that, Liam, you know, her and Edge had that love triangle with Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy did nothing wrong, but Matt Hardy got fired because Edge had more value. And so until the fans started calling for Matt Hardy to come back, did Vince bring him back just for an angle? And even their feud, Edge and Matt Hardy feud, I think only Matt won one match in that feud. You know, like, he really, like, he didn't give a fuck. You know, he was such a cunt. Yeah, we're using that Final Fantasy background. I did this as we did the memory of Carl Weathers. I thought something nice for the opening of the show to remember the late, great Carl Weathers. Yeah, sorry. Go on, Christine.
I just had an epiphany. Really, if we disagree with that sort of thing, like that panty thing and everything like that, that audience was still there shouting and screaming. They were still into it. They could have just walked out. We got to start saying no. Just because it's got lights and flashing lights and loud noise and this is what we're supposed to accept for entertainment, we got to take a deeper look and go, wait a second. No, not on our watch. If you want to play it, you're right, but I don't have to watch it. And I don't have to pay to watch that, so I ain't gonna.
Yeah. I mean, I for me, like, something like that was so unique, and it has been so unique. There's never been anything like that before, during, or after. It's a one-off, and I had no idea what I was expecting to watch when they mentioned it. Edge and Lita's live sex celebration. Well, what the fuck could that be? You know, I mean, seriously, when you're thinking about it, what on earth could that be? And then they put a fucking bed in the ring and shit like that.
And they got dressed under it.
And they're pretending that. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching?
I mean, the thing is that I would say that's not the worst thing he ever did. Yeah, the worst thing he ever did was have a thing on called Hot Lesbian Action.
and he put that upon Eric Bischoff. He made him the mouthpiece for that. Look, yeah, don't get me wrong. That's not the worst thing he ever did. But when you hear about what Lita had to say about that if she didn't do it, she'd be fired on the spot. I mean, Jesus Christ! It just goes to show you what sort of boss he was. Like, this is the guy who would. Like, he would, like, when it came to somebody like Mark Calloway, the Undertaker, my God, he would go out of his way to pamper that motherfucker in every way possible, give him the best treatment so we can squeeze one more match out of him every fucking WrestleMania. And the other people who have been just as loyal, who've been part of the industry to recognize personnel, he doesn't treat them with any fucking respect whatsoever, like Lita. Yeah, I mean, hello, Rick B. Welcome to the stream.
Well, because it's a narcissistic behavior. Use something up and then throw it away when it doesn't work anymore because it's not worth it to you. That's narcissism.
The thing with bra and panty matches is that it was denigrating towards women, because you look at women wrestling now and it's so respected. Yes, these people are beautiful. You get a lot of women who, but some of these women who and I say this with the utmost respect, are not necessarily lookers, even though they're in great shape. He's finally not trying to pick just fucking models here. He's picking the right people for the right job. Some of these women are quite large and round as well. I'm loving the fact that we got like a mashup of all these different types of women. It's great. Bailey. I mean, she's a beautiful woman, but you wouldn't think of her as the most extraordinarily, stunningly beautiful woman in the world. And I'm so happy to see her win the Royal Rumble, because she's paid her fucking dues in the business and deserves something like a Royal Rumble win. Daniel Vance, if they brought back stadium full of gladiatorial fighting, people would watch. We're screwed up species. Well, I guess maybe. I think there'll be a lot of people though who would be against that. I assume you're talking about Vince's several attempted incest. Yeah, I mentioned that as well, Liam. I mentioned that as well regarding Vince.
One of the worst ones was when he had Trish Stratus barking like a dog coming towards him. That was white.
Really? I don't remember that, but
that was the early 2000s. That's when. Do you remember when they had the McMahon in O'Connor? She was in some sort of trance, and then she kicked him in the balls.
I can't remember. All I remember with Trish is that she had some power over Bubba Ray Dudley, and Bubba Ray was dying to throw her through a table. Like the Dudleys had this thing about power bombing people through tables. Mainly, a lot of them were women back then. And he power bombed Mae Young and shit like that. And then finally, he got Trish in that position, and Trish started like rubbing his bald head and started kissing him and tried to stop him from doing it. And then he fought through the power of her fucking love and power bombed her through the fucking table. Fucking awesome, man. But regarding this, the incest angles, like not just with Vince as well, who mentioned about how he wanted to deflower her before he fucking had that match with her. But also he allegedly wanted to have his son Shane McMahon have an incest angle with Stephanie. Like, seriously, dude, like you're trying to do this shock value shit. It's just the most stupidest thing. And
I mean,
yeah,
but I'm gonna say, like, John Laurinaitis has a case to answer for as well, and all this shit. Let's not ignore that, because apparently he like had a threesome with her and Fabian and trying to play the victim. Yeah, good luck with that, pal.
Laurinaitis. The fact that Laurinaitis has actually mentioned that he's the victim in all of this, as I said earlier, has now basically condemned Vince McMahon for being guilty, because he's throwing Vince McMahon under the bus. So he's saying, Vinny, I ain't going down for you. I'm a fucking victim here. I'm going to make sure that you take all the blame for this shit. He's not standing by McMahon by saying this is not true. These allegations are false. He's now blaming McMahon. So that kind of shows you that those allegations were true. So making me remember all the good time watching. Yeah, I used to watch wrestling when I was stoned as well. But those were then. So yeah,
the thing is that this is more Fabian sex scandals on top of Fabian speaking out, which we really don't need more of at the moment. We're trying to make the Royal we. We are trying to make the Fabian sport better at the moment, the business better at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
I'm tangentially connected to it. Well, I'm trying to
for
do
me,
it. So.
for me now is what happens now. Because I don't think Vince McMahon has a leg to stand on. The WWE want nothing to do with him. He's been fired. They're not standing by him.
They're raising him apparently.
Brock Lesnar is no longer in the scene as well. He's obviously guilty of sin. John Laurinaitis has been out of the WWE for many years now, so he was already expendable anyways. But will justice truly be served? I used to call him John Laryngitis. Yeah, he needs to go down. And there's a few other people. Kevin Dunn apparently needs to go down too.
He could have just gotten rid of this. He could have just paid the money and kept the NDA in place or the non-disclosure act. But he didn't even just pay the money, and it's such a small amount for a man like him. He's an idiot as well.
Yeah, but people like him who are powerful, rich, and feel they're untouchable want to maintain that image. And the last thing they need is some young girl who thinks she can control him, because that would once again it's an attack on his manliness, whatever that may be, which is why he doesn't do shit like that. He needs to be in the power position. John Lauren, by the way, our nickname for him was John Laryngitis. I used to call him that in my reviews back in the day because he sounds like he's got laryngitis. I'm more interested to see what happens. Well, the thing is, you won't see what happens to Lesnar because he won't be back on WWE. I'll tell you what, though, I wouldn't be shocked if he tries to have another stint in the UFC if he needs to make some money. Right, but John Laryngitis has no defense because he shagged her sometimes when Vince wasn't in the room. So you can't, he can't claim to be a victim. But the point is, my whole argument with this, Rick B, is that there's no denial in a way what Vince has done. If John Laryngitis, or let's just be sensible here, Laryngitis, has said that he was a victim, because he's basically saying that this shit did happen, which then throws Vince under the bus. Sorry, he had to resign. You're talking about, she didn't, and she only broke the NDA. He wasn't paying her. He didn't want to pay her, but the reason why he didn't pay her is because he thought that she'd be too embarrassed to bring up the fucking story in the first place of Vince shitting in her hair.
And once he didn't pay, the NDA went away. So it's a contract.
Oh yeah, right. You're right. Good point. Well, yeah, there's other mixed martial arts places he could maybe turn to.
I think Bellator's bought by.
I think maybe Brock might be all elite wrestling. Who knows? Fucking hell.
No, they want to with the baseball now.
I mean, if he brings in ratings and views, I don't know, like the way they treated the way they treated Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, by the way, Chris Jericho is very lucky. This is probably the best thing to happen to Chris Jericho because he was under the spotlight regarding for some terrible actions himself. So yeah, Brock's too up for MMA.
Proven.
So
we'll say proven.
So and the point is if Chris Jericho is still at All Elite and regardless of all the baggage he's under right now, and if Tony Khan thinks, yeah, I could probably shoot the ratings up if we bring Brock Lesnar into the fold, and they've got an open checkbook where they can pay. They've got an open checkbook where they can pay a shitload of money to somebody like Brock Lesnar. They'll do it. You look. You never say never in the wrestling industry. You never say never. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, but the thing is, Brock Lesnar is a freak. And he can do whatever he wants. I mean, he's made a lot of money. He probably doesn't need to do this anymore. So he probably might just go to his flaming farm in bloody Canada or flaming South Dakota or wherever it is he goes.
Yeah.
The thing is that, as I said, with this, I don't know. As I said, I'm hoping that there is. Oh, hi, Ginger. I'm just hoping.
After sleep, I thought I'd pop in for a bit.
I think that there is a something coming for all of them because apparently Vince McMahon's being investigated now on this according to what a couple of sources I read. I don't know how accurate they are, but that's what I read.
Well, look, my money is on Brock Lesnar going all elite. I feel that before the year is out, he'll be in that fucking company. Probably after
No.
WrestleMania.
Brock's not going to go anywhere. Brock's going to disappear into the fucking sunset to avoid all the scandals. If he goes all elite, then that's going to be the death knell for AEW because they've already got Ric Flair. They're catching flack for that. They're catching flack for keeping Jay
Jericho.
Lethal on after all the accusations. Chris Jericho as well, with all
Jay
the
Lethal,
accusations. They take
I
Brock
know.
Lesnar, then they're just going to basically everyone's going to say, yeah, you know what? Doesn't matter if you love abusing women. There's a house for you in AEW. Come
Yeah,
there.
but all I'm saying is that right now everything is red hot at the moment because the news is still reasonably fresh. But Vince McMahon went underground with his last allegations in 2022, popped his head back up in 2023 like nothing fucking happened. Like time. A few months go by, this becomes yesterday's news. Brock Lesnar shows up again, people forget. Like trust me, it's not impossible in my opinion.
So
Oh no,
you're
nothing. Listen, mate, nothing is impossible when it comes to this kind of shit. I mean, look, Vince came back because he did a hostile takeover of the company. That's how he was able to weasel his way back. And then he did the TKO deal, and Ari Emanuel took on the deal because he knew that he could oust Vince because of the allegations that he was facing because of everything that went down. Like Ari Emanuel's not stupid. He knows everything that's going on and what happened. So he smelled blood in the water, and that's why he was eager to sign WWE. Because look what happened. As soon as he got into as soon as they took control, they started what's the word? Not disrespecting, undermining Vince McMahon straight away. They started pushing him to the side, and the thing is, you got to know, like when Triple H and Stephanie McMahon when they initially left, when Stephanie left and all that, it's because they didn't want Vince back. They voted him out. They voted against him to return. When all this first happened, and then obviously with the hostile takeover, Stephanie then disappeared, and Vince McMahon was deliberately undermining Triple H as well because of Vince McMahon being Vince McMahon. But now there's no coming back for Vince. He's done. He is done. And if I was Ari Emanuel, I'll just get rid of absolutely everyone that's sucks up to Vince McMahon. Just be like, get rid of Pritchard. Laryngitis got fired when the whole scandal first happened in 2022. So yeah, he's not coming back. And
Kevin Dunn.
Kevin Dunn's gone as well.
I heard
He's
he got a
gone.
massive payout as well.
He got a big payout. He's gone. Any other executives that would have known about it, or wrestlers, or whoever, they need going. Well, I'm sure there's going to be a big I'm sure there's a big investigation happening now, and they're just keeping quiet about it because obviously, the stock prices.
Yeah, and for me, the next thing is, will Vince ever go to jail? Because
no, he won't go to jail. He won't go to jail because this isn't this is a civil suit. It's not a criminal suit. So
Plus,
what's done is done.
Statute of limitations on sexual assault is notoriously short.
Yeah.
Notoriously.
Well, it happened in Connecticut. I don't know what the rules are in Connecticut.
I think it happened in 2019, so I think it's 7 years. I think, if I remember rightly.
Yeah,
in
New York, it happened during COVID, so it was within 5 years. But like there's other allegations with other women as well, so I don't know what that would lead to if they start sprouting.
Well, this is the thing. It's more stuff to come forward, probably. Yeah, it's not over.
Yeah, it's definitely not over for Vince. I mean, it just even though he's out of the picture. So,
Yeah.
and by the way, look who's crawling up my arm. By the way, this is my new bird who's about to shit on my lap. Yeah, she just did.
Did you buy another one?
Well, I went to the bird shop, and I was getting some seeds and stuff, and I saw this beautiful thing, and she's reasonably tame, as you can see. She's just on my arm. I just need to fucking clean this massive dollar.
When did you get her?
2 days ago.
Oh, right. No.
Because your other bird,
If Brock do anything that bad, you watched a woman pee. Well, we don't know, Rick. This is the thing. We don't know. You know, there could be more that comes out about Brock Lesnar.
He
by
was
the way,
showing basically revenge porn, didn't he?
Yeah.
I need a name. I haven't named it yet.
Yeah, we'll come up with a name soon.
Yeah, anyone in the chat, if you can find a name for my new baby girl, that would be great.
Tweety? I guess that's too common, eh? Tweety?
What? Birdie? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna call it
too
Birdie.
common.
I'm thinking of maybe Lemon or Jelly or something like that.
Yeah,
But
Lemon.
we said
Lemon's
like-
a great one.
I'm gonna call her shit bird. Yeah, but
Or just call her
yeah.
cunt.
all right.
Call her cat. Call her, like, not the animal she is.
I want to name her like after something like to do with food. But anyway,
Call her chicken.
looks like no. It looks like the average of limitations is 3 years in the US. New York, California, and Michigan seems to be outliers with 10 to 20 years. Fair enough.
I think New York lifted after the whole Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby thing. I think New York lifted the statute of limitations. I don't think they have any anymore. You could just make a claim whenever. I might be wrong on that one. Again, it's American law.
Those women all made claims, but not all of them could have they couldn't all have been prosecuted on. Just a lot of claims came out.
Yeah,
Old
yeah.
ones, new ones. And it depends if you're underage at the time, then the statute of limitations, I think, doesn't run out. But in general, the majority of the United States, I think it hovers around 6 years.
Yeah.
Which is mind-baffling to me, but who am I to say?
I don't even know if we have any statute of limitations here in the UK.
I think you should call your bird KFC.
No way. They'll call her fucking KFC.
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah, as I said, I think that WWE has done the right thing, erasing it, taking the allegations seriously, investigating, doing everything they should have done, and now the cut bait. So, I don't think there's anything more. I mean, the only thing I would say is that they didn't do is that Triple H didn't address it properly. If you just said, we're investigating it and we're taking the allegations seriously, that would at least said, okay, we're not going to comment because we're investigating the claims. That's understandable.
Yeah. I think people are too
that
fixated
statement
on...
just translates to, when they make that statement, translates to, we're doing nothing.
No, because
they are. It's not in there. I mean, yeah, like I said, they're going to investigate all the allegations that happened, but after that, it's kind of out of their hands because it's a new company. I mean, technically, if they wanted to, they could wash their hands of it and be like, well, let the old executives, they're all gone now. They can kind of deal with it. But no, there needs to be a full investigation for sure and just weed out anyone connected to Vince. And just, God knows, like the lawyers of the woman that's suing have also made an open statement telling people to come forward if they have any other allegations against Vince as well.
Good.
Yeah, so it could snowball for them.
And there will be, because you don't stop, and you don't stop with just one, especially a guy with that much money and power.
Exactly.
Sorry, guys. I'm just looking for a particular link that I want for our next thing. I've kind of lost it in my mix. Just give me a second once I find it.
Yeah, no worries.
Some jackhole.
What have you covered so far? Is it just Vince McMahon?
Yeah, we just started off with Vince. Okay, so are you ready to start on? Oh, yeah, I just wanted to get the Vince McMahon thing out of the way. I felt that was like there was a lot of stuff to talk about regarding Vince, and so on to the next thing. So let me just copy and paste this over. All right, now we're gonna listen to this. This is about 7 minutes 40 seconds long. I want to listen. We're gonna go through the whole fucking thing.
Oh,
all right,
Jesus Christ!
Look,
No
I'm
way,
running
man.
the show today. It's my show
7
today.
minutes of
Yeah,
listening to. I'm glad I didn't listen to it already, because I had a funny feeling you were going to make us do this.
Yeah, this is fucked up. Yeah, hello there, TLD. Welcome to the stream, mate. Okay. All right, here it is. All right, this is white supremacy Zoom call thing on X, Twitter, however you want to call it. Pro-white folks are talking. Silence. Listen closely. You're going to be hearing all different fucking modern day clan members. This is quite disturbing, shocking, scary. As we listen to this, so if you're easily offended, yeah, well, hope you listen to it more. All right, let's go.
They nationalized, but they understood
Can you guys hear it?
You have to take care of your own. You have to be willing to kill, or at least do something physically for your own. I understand we're now in a later century, and it's maybe more of an information war, but physical presence means something quite heavily, especially in American politics. When you see these blacks burned down, I mean, they did it in the 60s. They did it, every race riot ever, and everyone capitulates to them. Even the racist people, back in the day, capitulated because they were just burning, killing, looting, and raping everything. And the only way to make them stop was to give them what they wanted, right? Even segregation. The way segregation ended wasn't because there was a vote on it. It was because they nationalized the guard and used at gunpoint with bayonets fixed on whites, forcibly making them desegregate. If you believe there's a passive, kind, happy way to end all of this against people who fucking rape and murder kids, you think they're gonna passively give you power back? I hope they do. I really hope there's a voting solution, but accelerationism has actually given us way more talking power. I know at the beginning of the Trump era, there was nobody on the alt-right anywhere except for maybe fringe biker bars and stuff. Now towards the end of the Biden era, we're talking on Twitter in the hundreds, if not the thousands, on spaces, on everything, right? And this isn't because Trump did it. It's not because Trump put in a law. In fact, he put in anti-Semitic laws, quite a few of them, stopping the discourse. So I'm personally on the opinion that accelerationism is the way to go. Anything that you can wake more people up violently, because the people that just sit there and drink their beer and watch their football, they're not going to wake up because a slight inconvenience. Oh no, they can't go talk shit on Facebook anymore. And they're but whenever blacks are coming to their cities and burning and raping people, that'll wake them the fuck up very fast. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Acceleration is a way, or do you think there's a more logical way to go through this, especially Ace?
Well, acceleration is the way. You made excellent points, and you said there's no way to stop the blacks when they're burning and raping and everything except to give them what they want. I just add the suggestion that there is a way to stop the blackists. It's called defeat them, get them out, kick them out, total Negro deportation. There's also that avenue.
Yeah. My point to say that was we should mimic them. Show
yes. Now we're getting somewhere. Yes. If white people behaved like niggers, I mean, they would have to give us everything we want because we're just so much more proficient in everything we do. I'm not gonna say too much, but everybody knows what I mean here. So yeah, I mean, we can defeat them by overpowering them. And if you look at it, I mean, everybody's seen the picture, like you said, of the 1960s National Guard with their bayonets pointed at white high schoolers in Alabama saying, "We want white schools." The National Guard said, "You're not going to have white schools. Take your niggers, white children." You know, I mean, that's what it is. And Stalin actually said something that was very interesting about how violence is like the universal language of the animal kingdom. He would pluck the feathers off of chickens or in like a very tormenting way. And for some stupid reason, if he threw them the grain, the chickens would always come back to him. Even, I mean, he could fucking hurt the chicken's skin. If he threw the chicken the grain, the chicken always came back to him. And he likened that study to humans. People will almost never bite the hand that feeds on principle. And that's because most people are extremely weak. The way around that is you feed yourself. You don't have a hand that feeds. Be self-sustaining. Just like Adolf said, German people, help yourselves. This is our country. We don't have to fucking listen to we don't have to listen to these other people. We don't have to put up with this other crap from these foreigners. If it's not our morality, who cares? Who cares? Why are you going to get offended on behalf of someone else? Why are you going to try to negotiate with these fucking foreigners? Who cares? They're not us. They have no say in anything we say or do or anything. They are not us. Why are you going to capitulate to them? And to the entryists, whatever it's called, entryism, why are you going to enter into a system where the whole purpose of the system is failure? It doesn't make sense. It's just, it's like, I'm going to enter into this system that is just jumping off of a cliff. It's a waterfall off of a cliff, but I'm going to get in the boat anyway, because maybe I can turn the boat around, even though we have no power within the boat or whatever. You're not going to convince the fucking captain to turn the ship around because the whole captain's job is to drive the ship off the fucking waterfall. It's stupid. It is stupid. And quite honestly, you're just going to go down with the ship. What is the purpose of... It's just so stupid. And it's dishonorable. And it's not Aryan. It's, I mean, you say, what, you're going to out-subvert the Jew? You can't do it. The Jew controls everything with their Jeffrey Epstein child sex blackmail. You can't fucking beat them. You're not going to beat them. You can't control people. The Jew can. You fucking idiots. You can only control yourself. The Jew can control agents and other people with their shit because the devil offers them power and they take the deal and then they sold their soul to the synagogue of Satan, and the Jew are the agents of Satan. The Jews are the brokers of that power on earth. So why are you going to try to join them? God, it is so frustrating to hear this bullshit from what could otherwise be intelligent white men. And I'm not saying that you're dumb, that you're not book smart, but you've been deceived. You have been deceived.
Oh, the irony in that comment.
Nicholas J. Fuentes is a personality. He is not a fighter. He's not an activist. He is a personality. And if you're a personality without the fight and without the action and without the leadership, you are nobody and you are destined to fail. And
I'll be that last bit you said about Fuentes. He's pretty spot on, but everything else.
But they all. But the problem is, all their heroes are like Nick Fuentes. They're just
Yeah.
grifters. They're just mouthpieces, riling up these morons, and they're sending these guys out to go and fight and die for them, while they sit there in their comfortable little office, milking these morons, and just how thick and uneducated white supremacists are. It's
why
not
the fucking
hilarious.
Nazis
It's
lost, by
fucking
the way.
dangerous. It's just
It's why the
dangerous.
Nazis people, because like Hollywood makes out the Nazis to be quite methodical and all of this. No, they're all fucking idiots. They're white supremacists. When you're a racist, you're always going to be that fucking idiot. So that's why they lost the World War, the Second World War, because they're white supremacists. They're fucking idiots, and they think they're better than everyone. And that mentality means that you undermine people and you get fucked over.
And Sun Tzu said that you should respect your enemy and know that they have strengths as well. So it's not just going to be a cakewalk. And the Germans really felt that they were the master race and didn't really have to, put that extra oomph in there because they were just going to win naturally. God was on their side. But guess what?
What I found funny about that.
What
I found funny about that is that while this guy was sprouting off his anti-Semitic shit, one of the people in that chat was a guy called Rabbi something or other. Because I've always said, look, there's a difference between religion, race, and nationality. They are three different things. You could be white, you could be Jewish, and you could be American. You could be white, Jewish, and English, or you could be black, Jewish, and American. Like all these different things. If you don't tick all the necessary boxes, you might not fit into a particular demographic. But I do believe that for some people in today's, white supremacy, they don't actually care really what your necessary religion is. There's a lot of people who still give a shit about Jews being Jews, but still, I think it's changed enough that there are people who are happy to align with Jews because a lot of Jews look like white supremacists at the same time, and they have similar, they have a similar interest like the Zionists do when it comes to eradicating all the brown fucking Palestinian people. So that's how it's changing a little bit. So but regardless,
I just want to go to this comment from Vance here. Quoting Starling, the same guy would be yelling about socialist agenda and communism. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also, he mentioned Fabian being a Christian and all this sort of stuff, and then talks about how bad Jews are. I hate to tell you this, guys. Jesus was a Jew. Sorry.
Yeah. On top of this, so this guy mentioned there probably were other people speaking, but this was the only clip I could find, unfortunately. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, no, take your time.
No, go on. You want to say something?
Oh yeah, I made notes. At the very beginning, they're going on about how blacks riot all the time and kill and rape during these riots. The only riots I've recently seen and in my time were Black Lives Matters, and they did destroy some property, but it was federal buildings, and these are inanimate objects that don't feel and can't be raped. But I watch white people riot after every NHL game and every baseball World Series, June 6th, where people brought weapons.
You just got shit on again, Zam.
But we'll just ignore those people because they're not blacks. The point where they're like, oh, you forced people not, to not segregate it anymore. No, you were being forced to follow the law that you so worship as being a part of the United States and being the land of laws and justice and freedom and the Constitution, until it doesn't suit you. They had to bring the army out with, bayonets, because you whiteys didn't want to follow the law. So who's the lawbreaker there? Not the black people. The white people are breaking the law there. You're hypocrites.
They tell people to follow the law and be law-abiding citizens, but at the same time they arm themselves with a militia full of fucking guns to go up against government takeovers and shit like that. Like, make up your fucking mind, you twats.
Yeah, and the BLM, there were protests, Rick. They weren't riots, and the vast majority of damage and destruction done by property. You can see the fucking videos yourself. It was done by cops. That
Yeah.
they were covered up completely, and they were going around deliberately smashing glass in buildings. And the protesters were calling them out, questioning them.
Yeah.
And they were just disappearing back into the crowd of the police. This
And
is
there'd be loads
classic.
of bricks. The night before, they would
Yeah,
actually be skiffs of bricks
you could
all of a
s- yeah.
sudden.
Exactly. They
Show
were
up.
offloading bricks to intimidate people, not intimidate, but to kind of help instigate the riots. It's just classic. It's just a classic psyops. It's just
Yeah.
It's as old as fucking time.
And
You know.
these guys on there are like, oh, like the blacks take. Well, I hate to break it to you, but per capita, not even per capita, yeah. If you put whites and blacks next to each other, white people far exceed black people for food stamps and other government
Yeah,
assistance.
the welfare states are the red states. You know, they're the highest ones on welfare.
And
Like
not
states
just
like
the red
Alabama,
states, but the whites in the red states. So,
Yeah.
they,
And the thing is,
Mississippi. Sorry, Mississippi. Sorry, go
Right.
on.
right.
Oh, they keep talking about like, you know, like, oh, the blacks take this and whites missing out and all this kind of shit. It's like, okay, but that's not the fault of the black person. Even though it's not true what you said, you're directing your anger at a marginalized group who have no power. This is why like white supremacists and the vast majority, 99.9% of right wingers, all rally against the establishment, but are all fucking pro-establishment. They love the establishment. They love authority. They bow to it. They suck off its boots. Okay, they keep thinking they're this maverick, wild, radical. I'm a badass. I'm against authority and all that. And like, you're the one propping it up, but you're getting angry at the wrong fucking people. You're getting angry at the 99% instead of the 1% that are causing all this shit. You think the 1% are the righteous ones that are going to save you from all this kind of crap. And yet, at the same breath, they're blaming the 1% for things, but they can't put two and two together. And because they're so powerless, they just go after like easy pickings. And
Yeah,
they
and he
just
quoted,
do my nothing.
and he quoted Hitler and quoted the Fabian Aryans. I'm like thinking, you do know that the Aryan whole thing was bullshit, right? I don't expect this person to have read a book, but the whole point of there being this massive racist bollocks, and also the whole thing about Hitler was that he was a loser, right? He lost it. He lost as an artist, and that's the reason he was against Jews. It wasn't because he was any sort of master Fabian, like what's the word, perfectionist of any race. He was just a loser who couldn't get the fact that people preferred Jewish art over his pathetic art.
And he was only a corporal.
And also, he couldn't handle seeing all these black guys fucking killing it in the fucking Berlin Olympics before the World War started. They were absolutely smashing up, and he thought, "What the fuck?" Because like he was expecting all these blonde, blue-eyed
but
motherfuckers to be winning the 100 meters, and they weren't. All the long distance races.
It was Jesse Owens. Yeah, Jesse Owens who dominated the Olympics. But the thing is, I mean, that's nothing to laugh about in regards to America owned them, because Jesse Owens was living under segregation and he wasn't treated as a hero when he went back.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying regarding what Hitler saw. He saw black people dominating the Olympics, and it was just too much for him. I'm going to get to some comments before we move on to the next one, which is regarding Mr. Tim Paul. Before we get on to that,
Tim Paul.
Brickley says Combat 8. He's trolling Combat 18 forums. Yeah, I used to do shit like that. I used to go to Stormfront and go in those forums and pretend to be a white supremacist. Even most recently, I was on Parler, and I called myself True Patriot White Guy, and had a picture of myself as Donald Trump with his arms around two Ku Klux Klan leaders. You know, it was fucking awesome, man. And you know, like some of the stuff I was telling people was like, I was doing a lot of self-ownage, trying to sound like a white supremacist, but self-owning myself all the fucking time. It was beautiful. I had so much fun trolling those motherfuckers. The Nazis
I want to
lost.
do that.
Yeah, Parler's a shit site, though, by the way. He really wanted to be the right-wing Twitter, and it was awful. You know, I mean, the funny thing is, all these people were going on to Parler, but they were still staying on Twitter. Nazi lost because they tried to invade Russia and overexerted themselves. They had allies in the West, Russia and East. Yeah, Russia had more people as well. I mean, the massive population. The Black Lives Matter didn't do the blacks any favors. Well, that's
I
because the
answered
fucking
that
cops
one already.
yeah, exactly. The cops infiltrated, as Slag just said. And people don't burn down their own, but people don't own anything anymore. Yeah, I agree with that. It's very
I'm
hard to
sorry.
own assets.
Why
I
didn't
know
Black
Major
Lives?
Rage.
Why didn't Black Lives Matter do anything? I want stats on that. I want receipts because I feel more enlightened and aware of struggles. You know, I think it was brought to the forefront to the media.
We all do, but these motherfuckers, these all lives motherfuckers who don't give a shit about the lives of Palestinians, by the way, but all lives don't really matter, to tell you the truth. They just don't want. They know what's genuinely going on. They just don't want to give any credence.
I mean, if I was going to criticize anything regarding BLM, and I'm not talking about the corruption that took place with the heads of the charity, because I mean that was chaos. So there's a whole story behind it. You need to read it. And again, I'm not absorbing anything, but the grassroots movement, you know, they still stand for what they stand for. They've condemned what the charity did and all this kind of stuff. But what fucks me off is that Hollywood hijacked BLM. All these fucking white liberal actors hijacked the hijacked the movement. All these other like black actors as well kind of took the spotlight, and never once did they just sit there and go, "Yeah, you know what? It's all good, me having a say and agreeing with everything that's happened. But how about we put the spotlight on the grassroots people? How about we take a camera to them instead of focusing it on what fucking celebrities have to say?" Not one of them did that. Not one of them. In fact, the only person that never made it about himself and really got down to the nitty gritty, right in the heart of the movement, was Jordan Chariton of Status Quo, who's a proper journalist, and he took the cameras out there and he gave everyone a fucking voice and a platform to speak. You know, that was where I got pissed off, because I was like, again, white liberal Hollywood just making it all about them fucking selves and hijacking the movement just to get pats on the back from people instead of giving those that are helpless the actual voice to speak.
Black Lives Matter does nothing for black people except make black people. No, I'm a different race, dude. And we've got 3 other people who are different races to black people. We're all different races to black people. And none of
the only reason you think that, TLD, is because, again, you lot have just fallen for the conservative propaganda. Okay, you still don't see what BLM are trying to do even to this day. All right, I'll give you a prime example. Take BLM out of it. Look at the irrational hatred of Taylor Swift around the conservative movement now. Why? Yeah. Just because she had the audacity to say register to vote. She didn't even say, you know, vote Democrat, vote Republican. She just encouraged young people to register to vote. And look at the irrational hatred. The irrational hatred towards BLM, again, stands from them being anti-establishment, being black, and you know, making white people look bad.
Consistently.
Well, next time, don't put your knee on a fucking black guy's neck. Cause him to die. Doesn't matter if he was a piece of shit.
He was arrested. He was already in handcuffs and he got killed.
Yeah.
The police are supposed to be the good guys. You don't kill somebody who's in fucking handcuffs, no matter what he's fucking done. You know, you're supposed to show what's the right thing to do as the good guys. So even if he is a piece of shit, once he's in handcuffs, he's got to stay alive. If you kill him, then you're just as bad as he is. If you allege him to be the bad person.
Or care of custody of care of custody.
Yeah, well, yeah. You know, and people were quick to investigate George Floyd to like, oh, well, he did this and he has a history of that. I'm like, it still doesn't justify killing him. And then why don't you do that same investigation into the police department and the level of corruption that they're going through? You know, just like you only become an investigator when it suits your narrative. When it goes against your narrative, you're all fucking your heads in the sand and you're ignoring the reality of it. So please do me a favor, you disingenuous wankers. Anyway, that's
exactly. If I could have, very funny. If I could have renamed Black Lives Matter, I would have actually added another letter to it, another word to it, and I would have said Black Lives Also Matter. That's how I would have called it, because that's what they're trying to say, basically. You know, Black Lives Also Matter, because the whole point of the protests and everything, the whole uprising of it, was the fact that so many black people were being indiscriminately being killed by the cops, the very people that were supposed to protect us all. And they were getting shot, at sight. They were getting killed while being arrested. All of these things. Recently, we saw that one guy who was arrested and he was put over the bonnet of his car, and that woman was tasing him with his hands cuffed behind his back, and the poor guy was fucking crying. Police shouldn't be doing this. Well, if all lives matter, Rick B, once again, why all lives matter motherfuckers defending the Palestinians? They don't give a shit about them. I mentioned this before. I'll say this again. I've been past all lives matter protests. It's so fucking white. I had to wear shades because I was getting blinded by their fucking skin tone.
And they don't care about your life, Rick B. Just remember that. If they see you getting snuffed out, these all lives matter people will be cheering on, because their brain will be like, oh, it's one less Muslim in the world, even though you're not Muslim. That's still how they'll see you.
Yeah, but the point is, the majority don't. They don't. Like, where do you hear about all lives matter recently? Like, it was like something that Black Lives Matter is still something that is still progressing now. All lives matter was like a fad. They tried to say that all lives matter, but they don't give a fuck about all lives. It was
just a bunch of triggered racists. They were like, oh, how dare you say only Black Lives Matter? It's like, no, that's not the point.
And on top of that, if all lives genuinely mattered, then give a shit about the black people are being discriminated against by the fucking police and being killed just for fucking living. It's just crazy.
I'm living well and having a car.
Yeah.
They need to do away with the qualified immunity, which makes lawsuits harder when cops do something quite literally caught on cameras. Yeah, constantly the internal investigations are fucking stupid as well.
Don't worry.
Yeah. One more comment. But I think we can all agree that all lives. Yeah, of course we agree that. But unfortunately, the people who are
we agree on that on the left. We fucking agree on that. That's the whole point. It's the whole point of the policies that we want to push through. It's the rest of you cunts that don't believe it.
Yeah, but if you notice, the all lives matter crowd tend to be far right racist cunts, and the fucking Black Lives Matter crowd tend to be the most diverse people. You see every fucking type of race, religion, nationality. They're the ones who are all lives, while the all lives matter crowd themselves will have their fucking token, like you, Rick B. Which makes you, like the role reversal of Leicester fucking City. It's fucking white with one brown spot, not like Leicester, which is brown with white spots. So yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. Fucking all lives matter. They need their fucking token. The same way fucking the Proud Boys had that fucking Latino guy to show that they're not fucking racist. I mean, he's the
guy that ratted them all out.
Yeah. It was a snitch anyway.
Yeah, it was an FBI informant.
Even though they're going about them not being racist and they had him, where's the other fucking Latino and black people in that group? None. Well, none whatsoever. But anyways, sorry, Chris, please.
That's okay. The Black Lives Matter and the response by the racist people saying all lives matter wasn't just triggering and showing them racism. It was willful racism. Because if you have any type of intelligence, and I'm sorry I don't have a better example, but if I said I'm going to give money to save the whales, that doesn't mean I'm saying kill all the fucking shrimp in the fucking river, in the ocean. Like, I'm sorry I don't have a better analogy, but like, you're not just triggered. You're showing me how stupid you are. Willfully.
It goes to your point. It's like, but again, you have to expect right wingers and racists to understand context. They don't understand context. They don't even remember what happened yesterday. They don't know what happened yesterday.
You have to baby step right wingers to really
even then they still don't understand. They're so like, I cannot state how dumb right wingers are. They are like, this is why all conspiracy theorists, all mass shooters, all cultists, they're all fucking right wingers. They all follow right wing ideology because they're dumb. They lack brain capacity. And that's why I get actually more pissed off with liberals, you know, the centrists, because they are intelligent, but they just like money. And so they don't really want to progress society at all. And they stand in the fucking way of progress. Because right-wingers, this, like I said, they're stupid. But if you take them along and show them the good stuff, they like the good stuff. They just can't put two and two together and realize, oh, it's socialism that's doing that. They're just thinking, oh, good, I get free stuff. Great. You know, they're too dumb to understand. They'll just go along with the ride. But liberals, they get in the fucking way because they're pussies.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
No worries.
So because this being my show today, I've really made it a right wing shit fest. So on to the next thing, which is your favorite and ours, Rick B, Tim Pool. And because Tim Pool is such a fucking cunt who takes no responsibility whatsoever, this is what he had to say to one of his guests. Shall I wait for Chris to come back, or shall I play it now?
I suppose you can wait for Chris to come back. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Let's go through the comments.
We've got Lewis L here, another person. Jack, hey, can you react to Joe Biden beats? I believe it's related to your views on this topic. You got to send me a link.
It can't be pulled.
I've got shit up.
I don't know about this Joe Biden beats. This is new, but
Joe Biden what?
Joe Biden beats.
Beats.
Yeah, I got this guy called Jack and this other guy called Lewis L.
Was it? Well, did somebody like put a song together with Joe Biden?
It might be some AI shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and just to let people know, we don't give a fuck about Joe Biden. His politics are fucking more in line with the Republicans. He wrote the crime bill. He's a massive fucking piece of shit as well.
As a Brit, we know what true left wing politics is, and you guys in America don't have it. Yeah, what you have is alt right, which is the Republicans, and center right, which is the Democrats. Which is why people like Rashida Tlaib is fucking being pushed aside, because obviously her speaking out against the fucking Zionist regime of Israel, indiscriminately killing fucking Palestinians. You in America, you truly don't know what left wing politics is, because if you did, you fucking can't would have a national health service by now. Anyway, listen to Tim Pool. Listen to Tim Pool, and then we'll get on to this Joe Biden beats afterwards.
Yeah, I'm still here.
It's only fair that I don't take the heat for what you said, Jesse, and I'm not trying to be a dick, but I'm getting people attacking my character now for having had to take the show down because you made 2 allusions to killing people. So I'm not trying to be a dick right now, but like I've got 500 messages of like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you taking the show down? Are you fucking with us? You're trying to make money.
So I thought YouTube took the show down.
No, I had to take the show down.
Okay.
I had to take the show down because you made 2 allusions within like the span of a couple minutes to murdering people.
Okay.
After I explicitly stated in the pre-show, do not make allusions to violence.
Okay.
Then went on to explain, we keep having people come here and saying they want people killed, or people should kill people, or they can be killed, or things like that. 18 minutes into the show, you had made 2 allusions to, one was the helicopter thrown over the Pacific Ocean. That's kind of like a fuck. We're gonna get hit for that probably, but you know, we'll see what happens. But then you said you can go kill the human smugglers for all I care, and it's just like that's it. Like it's not a YouTube thing. It's Rumble would take us down for this. I've had the conversations with Rumble about it, and so it's a question of for the people who are right now who are slamming me, claiming that it's a big news day and I intentionally took the show down for fake reasons to make money. No matter what platform we're on, that show would be removed and we would face legal liability. And so the question is, can we have a show if we persist? That show would be deleted and that would be the end of it.
Okay.
So all I can do is say, okay, well, that's it. You know, like I tried.
Or just not make statements like that.
Yeah.
Don't encourage people to make statements like that.
Report the news
invite
if
those
you
kind of
want
people
to.
on your show all the fucking time, which is what
He's
he does
always,
anyway.
it's something he's getting a lot of stick for. But he's inviting more and more extremists on his show. You know, he himself is an extremist. When people say he's liberal, he calls himself liberal. Like, please, just stop it.
He's not liberal.
Like Joe Rogan, because like Joe Rogan
did
calling himself a
Hitler.
fucking liberal. You know what I mean? So
Hitler used the term liberal
you
too.
said-
Hitler
one
called
that
him
said
all. Sorry.
yeah. No, go on. I'm looking for this this Joe Biden. thing.
I've seen it.
I've seen that TLD. Yeah, the crypto pastor.
No.
Again.
I'm talking about Joe Biden beats. I just watched it while you guys were doing.
Is it worth? Would I get fucking?
It's shit.
If it's shit, put it on.
It's basically you're like somebody doing really bad impressions of like cartoon characters doing flaming rockstar and shit.
Can you put it in the private and then I'll link it.
All right, give me 1 second.
Yeah.
If I run out, it's because my tea kettle's steaming.
Yeah, no worries.
Tim Pool is a genuine moron. He's a fucking idiot who's constantly bringing controversy on his channel and inviting more and more extremists. He himself is constantly telling people to fight and do all of this shit. He wouldn't fucking lift a finger up. And it pisses me off that all these manly men like fucking Tim Pool and fucking Ben Shapiro and all these motherfuckers who go on about masculinity are the least masculine motherfuckers ever. Take that goddamn beanie off your head, Tim, and show how much of a fucking man you are, you fucking cunt.
Every time someone says Ben Shapiro, all I can think of is dry something.
Dry pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right, let's have a look at this fucking bullshit. You know, this Joe
Biden. I'm not responsible for what you do to yourself. This is
but you've given me. You've given. What the fuck? I did. I've got.
I'm not joking around. This is what I managed to find.
Have you seen his video? His music rap video?
What the fuck is this?
I swear to God, this is what I was managed to find in private chat.
The Ben Shapiro and the guy who looks like.
This is their channel. This is not a particular video. I got a channel.
All right, what's the video you wanted to look at, guys?
I don't know.
No, I'm asking the fucking chat.
Yeah. They're talking about Joe Biden beats. I don't know what the fuck.
Right, Joe Biden beats. Which video should we watch, guys?
Is it the channel or is it actually a video? That's the thing.
It looks like a channel to me.
No, but there is a channel and maybe there's a video.
So find that.
If we don't get a response, just move on. Send link. Can you not see it? Oh, it says it's sent link. Did it not pop up in the chat? Maybe the chat won't allow for links.
Yeah, maybe the chat won't allow it.
If they're not both, they won't allow it. No.
Hold on, let me see what I can do. 1 second.
Just give us just type the title of the video in the in the chat, Lewis, and we'll go find it from there.
Is there any way I can change the settings?
Just the two of us, Peter Griffin and Adolf Hitler.
Hold on, I saw that. I saw that. 1 second.
Nice one, Lewis. I don't think we'll be able to play that. I think the beat might give us a strike. I mean, not that we care about fucking monetization in this channel. We never get it.
Yeah, we don't. Okay, let's.
YouTubers like Zam. Seriously, YouTube now. Even if you just swear once, that's it. You're demonetized. It's ridiculous. Like they're so draconian now. They're getting worse and worse.
All right, here we go. Say goodbye to our channel. All right. Oh, sorry, it's working.
Oh God!
I am really worried.
I really worried as well.
Is it the calm before the storm?
Yeah.
I see the crystal raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all when the sun comes shining through. to make those rainbows in my mind when I think of you sometime, and I want to spend some time with you. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us.
What the hell?
Just the two of us.
See,
Building candles in the sky. Just the two of us. You and I.
Wait, really about Peter.
We look for love, no time for tears. Wasting water all that he is, and it don't make no flowers grow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is bollocks, man. Seriously, I wasted 1 minute and 20 seconds of my life watching something that is not remotely clever. It could be full on fucking the most racist shit I've ever seen in my life, but it's not remotely smart in its delivery at all. You know, like, was it trying to mix in some fucking Nazi chants in there and shit like that? I wasn't able to fucking understand because it was a load of fucking.
I lost the will to live.
Yeah, likewise. So, yeah, but I got massively sidetracked, but we were speaking about Tim Pool, but yeah, he has been getting a lot of people on his show who want who are asking for death and violence, and now it's coming back to haunt him. And good for Tim, because fuck him. So yeah. All right, guys.
Joe will get somebody who will get cancelled soon, hopefully.
Because this is my anti-right wing special, and I fucking hate right wing cunts more than I fucking hate anybody else in this world. We're going to be going on to the next one. You guys heard about the man who killed his own father and beheaded him?
No.
And chopped his dad. I saw the video clip of this. And I'm not going to play the. I'm not going to play the video clip. I'm going to just play the audio, because if I played that video clip, I think.
Can you not, please?
No. Listen, dude, got to do it, man. Look, we're not listening to him kill his dad. His dad's already dead. Okay. Yeah, but in the video clip, he goes, "This is my father," and he has a plastic bag with a head inside it. You can see the blood and the shit around. It's disgusting. We're not going to see any of that. We're just going to listen to the audio of him talking about killing his dad and what he wants. I just need to find that fucking audio, because I'm not really well prepared. Just give me a second. It made a lot of news. This guy also is a Trump supporter. This guy also is a Tim Pool fan as well. So not surprised by any of that.
It's a little bit guilty by association, eh?
Yeah, well, when you listen to him, when you hear his rhetoric, because when you hear his rhetoric as well, you understand that this guy is very much infatuated by Trump, and he's one of those he blames everything on wokeness, because this guy can't get laid or some shit like that, and probably thinks Taylor Swift is there. Yeah.
Well, you heard it before when the white supremacists were talking. Got to be more violent, man.
Now, this is just the audio, but listen to what this fucking crazy motherfucker has to say. It's quite scary. He's talking about his dad there.
I can't hear anything, mate.
Can you not hear it?
No.
Oh shit. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Let me try again. I don't know how it won't let me share the audio for some reason. What's so funny?
Just something on Reddit here, just dumb shit. If you're not a Trailer Park Boys fan, you wouldn't understand.
All right, fine. I'll have to share my screen. I'll share my other screen for this. He starts off talking about his dad he just killed. So in case you're wondering what's going on, but this is the only bit of audio I could get. All right.
Yeah, all good, mate.
Okay, here we go. You can hear it?
No.
Silence.
What the fuck? Oh, man.
I gather he just said that his dad's woke He needed to die for it, and he couldn't get laid.
His dad was part of the deep state.
Okay. I think I got it now.
Because he worked for the government and all this kind of shit.
Okay. I think I got it now.
He is now in hell for eternity as a traitor to his country. It is said that those who commit treason and betray others occupy the lowest pits of hell for all time. My name is Justin Moan. I'm the commander of America's national network of militias, which you may know of as Moan's Militia. I now give the following order for all militia and patriots across the United States of America. All federal employees are to be killed on sight. All FBI, IRS, and other federal law enforcement offices, as well as federal courthouses, are to be sieged around the country. All federal agents, U.S. Marshals, federal judges, and Border Patrol are to be killed or else captured, tortured for information, and publicly executed for betraying their country. To hell early. The federal government is the enemy, not the state government. If I am captured or killed, do not give up.
He does start talking again.
And you couldn't just drag the
corrupt federal government is the enemy, and there is more than enough evidence to show the federal government has disallowed any peaceful solutions, and that violence is the only solution to the federal government's treason and the actions of their fifth column terrorist organizations such as Antifa.
Is Antifa in the room with you now?
Well, they're in the room. Yeah. They're in this room because everyone is Antifa.
But like for him, like.
And this guy, he had just killed his dad when he made this video. It was incredible, and which is why I wanted to. Yeah,
I'm not against the some of the stuff he said. You know, against like if you want to go after the FBI and the law, you know, good luck with that. I encourage that.
Yeah, Dylan died in a hail of bullets.
Yeah, you know, do it. Honestly, what could go wrong?
Like, yeah, like Black Hawk helicopters against your rifle. Do it, huh?
Yeah,
do it.
Well, I don't know. You know, some of these motherfuckers might have a goddamn bazooka in their bloody collection.
Well, the U.S. government also has what, aircraft carriers, tanks.
Yeah, not inland. They have drones, attack choppers, jets, but do they have a "Don't Tread on Me" flag? That's the key.
I've got my flag.
I got my flag. It's bulletproof. Yeah.
Okay.
So that guy. It'll be interesting to see what mental issues he has as well.
I just these guys.
Sounds like a paranoid schizophrenic. Sorry, Sam.
This guy Jack and Lewis, who look like they're trying to promote their channel, which is fair enough. I don't blame them. But that whip by whipping is a load of shit. By the way, you guys need to work on your craft a little bit because your fucking mumble rap music is fucking.
What happened when you're late, Ginger? I wasn't late. I wasn't intended to come along because I got to work early tomorrow.
Yeah.
But, all right. I can't sleep, so but it's all right. It's Dan's show today, baby. Let him do his thing.
Okay, so just to mix it up a little bit, and this is something I want to show you guys. This is from TikTok because we don't want to come across as people who purely hate the Republicans, even though we do. Kamala Harris, she has banned people from she banned some Muslim women from her event. I'm just going to quickly show it to you right now. And this is not going to be a good look for her whatsoever. This was on TikTok.
I mean, nobody fucking likes that dumb bitch anyway. Nobody fucking likes her.
Yeah, exactly.
Name me one vice president in history that has been out of the limelight as much as Kamala Harris. Like, nobody within her own staff or within their own party can fucking stand this woman, and they've just pushed her to one side. remember that she did an interview a couple of weeks ago, and she completely like just word salad bollocks.
Yep. I hate the old word salad. Pisses me off. Anyway, here it is. Muslim Democrats banned from entry simply because they wear hijab. Because they know. I mean, don't get me wrong. They feel that they might be on the pro-Palestine thing. And so instead of taking a chance on that, they just fucking ban them.
Just like everyone else. What is the problem? By a man who's in the LGBT community too. You're going after another group. Can they come in? They were already. Why
That's
not?
what you get for worshipping Alan.
It is, yes, because why isn't it? We have an invitation. No, here, don't come up with excuses because
You are a black woman and you're coming up with excuses for racism as well.
I didn't.
Yes,
I didn't give you an excuse.
You just said that we're not being discriminated, but when you clearly are.
I'm letting you know that you've been disinvited from an event.
Why?
So you can choose to leave
Why?
at this point or not.
I won't leave because I have an
And
invitation.
if you want, then we'll have someone escort you off.
Why?
I've let you know.
We have every right to know why.
You're a black woman who's partaking
You're
in white
targeting
supremacy.
us.
You are targeted. I hope you feel really
I'm letting you know.
I feel really targeted right now.
And
That's
you too.
disgusting.
You're a melanated man participating in white supremacy.
So what's the issue, man?
They disinvited
Right,
us.
they disinvited
And I
only
think
both
it's
of us.
clear we have hijabs. Like, why? We have an
By a
invite.
black woman and a gay man. Isn't that funny?
We didn't do anything wrong. We literally have an invite. We have a wristband. We showed our ID. But it's clear, like, what's
were
the other
invited. We
reason
have
why
the
we're
email.
disinvited? We have a
the
scarf
email,
on
we
our
have
head.
everything.
And you won't give us a reason. So what's the reason?
If you're disinvited, you're disinvited, right? That's
For what? We deserve an explanation why. We come. I mean, I can't speak for
That
you, but I
guy's
come
clearly a
here
Muslim as well, by the way.
To see Kamala, as a voter, and this is disgusting. This completely changes my view on things.
If we had an explanation, give it to you, but at this time,
Right. So you don't have an explanation. So therefore,
Yeah, you don't have an explanation.
And this is
You don't
exactly what this
do the
campaign is gonna, the message that you're trying to spread. That's disgusting.
You're gross. You're literally disgusting.
do you want to walk with me?
No, whose decision was that? Who told you that decision?
You're part
Since
of
you
the
didn't
white
make that
supremacy,
decision.
You're a part of the LGBT community. Are you happy with yourself? I'm sure you're happy with yourself.
Yes, unfortunately, this is what happens under Kamala Harris. Like, look, if the Democrats, I think the Democrats are doing their very best to try to lose this election. I mean, everything they're doing, keep letting Joe Biden run again for a second term when clearly somebody needs to replace a guy. But you shouldn't be president of the United States in your fucking 80s. It should not allow to happen whatsoever. And then on top of that, your vice president is one of the most disliked people on the fucking planet. And now you're burning your bridges with the Arab and Muslim population of America, who mainly vote Democrat, and this is not going to help your cause. And on top of that, obviously with the Israel-Palestine conflict too, you lost a lot of voters that way. I mean, they truly want the fucking Republicans to win this next election. It's fucking ridiculous. It really is.
Yeah,
and seeing that,
Sorry, let it be known as well. This is when I get fucked off for I saw a lot of people that were like, they were so happy, like, oh, Kamala Harris, first black vice president, all this kind of shit. I'm like, just be known. Demographics do not mean fuck all to the bourgeoisie. How many times do we need to drub it into you? Do socialists need to keep fucking telling people that they play different races as pawns like a fiddle, okay? They feed you a little crumb, say, look how progressive we are. Look, we have a Muslim this, we have a Muslim that. But hey, the minute they're going to talk shit about Israel, that's it. All pretense out the window. The attack on the Muslim community since October 7th has been nothing short of telling of exactly where the establishment lies, in that everyone should now have enough brain capacity, okay, and I mean mainly liberals because they're the dumbest fucks, okay, when it comes to this kind of thing, to understand they're not on your side. They don't care about you. It's all about protecting corporate interests and regional interests as well, such as Israel. I mean, the United States, wouldn't necessarily give a fuck about Israel if they weren't a necessity to the region, because having them there is great for destabilizing the rest of the region. If Israel suddenly became progressive and went against the kind of Zionist trope and gave Palestinians equal rights and said, well, we're not going to start doing shit America's bidding, then that's it. You'll see America will change its fucking tack. Even
Right, because
APAC,
then all the oil countries can peacefully coexist and come together and market their oil at a price that they desire. And if
Exactly.
it's destabilized, the states can keep that oil cost down.
Yeah, exactly. And just let it be known. And liberals need to know that whenever you see these politicians take a knee and talk about Martin Luther King and all this kind of shit, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about Martin Luther King. And look at what they talk about with Martin Luther King. They talk about the race stuff with Martin Luther King. They never mention the fact that he was murdered because he was a socialist. All right. And all these black, what's his name? Fred, the guy who ran the Black Panthers as well, murdered because they were socialists. Philadelphia in the 80s was bombed because it had a huge socialist population. All right. They never mentioned that about Martin Luther King. They want you to remember Martin Luther King about fighting against segregation and race. They never want you to remember that he was a massive socialist. Okay. So when you see this kind of shit, okay, see what happened to the Muslim population and to black people and to progressives and to everyone else when they stood up for Palestine. The establishment came down so fucking hard on them because these politicians know that if they fuck with AIPAC, their political career is over. So, yeah, this is not surprising, but people need to wake up.
Just today, I put a meme up about Palestine or Palestine. The other day, pro, obviously, and people were debating underneath it quite a bit and very heated. And one guy I knew I used to work with said JFK or JFS to someone. And then the guy said, "Did you just tell me to myself because I have a different opinion?" And the guy turns it around and says, oh no, if you need help, buddy, I want you to get the help you need. It's like that. No. This isn't about you turning around and trying to help someone. It was how fucking dare you tell another human being that because they don't want to see babies bombed, that they should just go off themselves because they have a different opinion about it. Like, the world's gone insane.
Yeah, when it comes to, I mean, the thing is again, when it comes to the topic of Israel, people they don't know anything about it, but they think they do, and therefore they're giving an opinion on it that is grossly, like, one of the biggest tropes you'll ever see, and this is mainly with liberals, okay? They were all Palestine was never an official state. Palestine had its own, even under the Ottomans and even after the Ottomans when it was a British protectorate, it had its own laws, it had its own judges, it had its own governance, it had its own currency. Just because it wasn't officially classified as a state, it was still a state. It still had its own thing. And they will try to downplay that to say that, no, it was never an official state. Therefore, them losing their homes and being brutally murdered is perfectly justified by a bunch of Europeans. This kind of stupid logic. And these are people that are supposed to be intelligent. So that's why the reason I'm saying is this is people that are supposed to be learned. These kind of fucking morons. And they don't know. They're just as bad as the right-wingers when it comes to the issue of Palestine because they think Hamas. I'm like, what led to Hamas? Who props up Hamas? Who's happy that Hamas exists? The fucking right-wing Israelis, the Zionists, love Hamas. They love it because anytime Hamas does something, they can use Hamas to say, oh, look, well, we're justified in murdering all these babies and leveling the whole of
and
Gaza.
taking more ground, leveling those houses into the earth, taking their property and their businesses, pushing them out. Yeah.
Gaz.
This may be look, I think Israel should exist because, you know, as I said, I think a Jewish safe place is needed. But I'm not. But again, like, surely there's a better place for it than that. The
Jesus Christ, Gary! For fuck's sake, listen. Listen. The Palestinians offered Jews sanctuary. Okay, the country was 33% Jewish already. All right, but these are Jews here that have been there for generations upon generations upon generations. The Palestinians opened their doors, but the Zionists didn't want to share power with the Palestinians. They wanted to rule the country. They wanted it as their own. This is why they created the State of Israel. They had no intention of ever playing second fiddle to Arabs and Muslims. Why? Because they still, no matter what they've been through, the Zionists and what they were born of were Jewish supremacists, racists at the core, white Europeans that do not want to be governed by Arabs. All right? So it's not a question of whether Israel has a right to exist. Israel does not have a right to exist. Jews have a right to a safe place, but that safe place should have gone to Argentina or taken half of fucking Germany as reparations and created the nation state of Israel there. Not going into Palestine and taking it. And again, if it wasn't for the British, this never would have happened. Because the British were like, yes, having white European allies in the Middle East is perfect for us, as at the time, the whole of the Middle East was going for a socialist revolution. They will nationalize everything. They were taking back control of their countries. Okay, they were far more progressive than people remember. Like the hijabs and niqabs and all this. They were gone at this point.
Mini skirts, female doctors.
Yeah, they were gone. It was the British and the Americans that armed and militarized militia groups that were fundamentalists to help destabilize these countries. People forget Saddam Hussein was a CIA plant. How many people remember about Saddam Hussein? They don't realize he was funded, his militia group was funded by the CIA to take Iraq so that they could get the oil. And then he turned against them. So it's not about whether they have a... Jewish people have a right to a safe space, but it's not there because of what they did. And so as it should have been, my personal opinion is they should have taken southern Germany. It's as simple as that. They should have taken southern Germany and made that theirs.
But we've kind of gone past that point. So they're there in 47, right? Or 49?
Yeah, 48, yeah.
Because they're invited in by the Palestinians. They're saying, you can live here. If they had just stayed where they were given out of the kindness of people's hearts and not done anything else, they'd be living happily there. There'd be no Hamas.
No, there'd be nothing, but that was never the intention. The intention was to steal the land.
No, I know.
And create a national state.
I know.
You know, and it wasn't from 1948. It was happening since the 30s. So when the first kind of migration started happening in the 1930s, the Americans were training the Zionists militias, and they were already attacking Palestinian villages up north before 1948. 1948 is just when they took control and took over the country of Palestine. So now, obviously, now with everything established, it's just more about, you know, not a two-state, a one-state solution was equal voice to Arabs and Jews, and that's the best we can hope for now. You know, the reality is that fucking Palestinians aren't going to get wiped off the face of the earth, because there's no nice way of saying it. When you don't have anyone looking after you, and the countries that are now getting bombed by the United States. Iran is under attack now. Jordan's under attack now. Lebanon, Syria, all this kind of shit. It's a mess.
The funny thing is that they created new enemies. They had people as their plans to destabilize these countries, and now they've become their enemies, which is ironic.
Yeah, exactly, Zam.
Yeah. Okay.
It happens in South America. It happens everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, anything in the comments you want me to mention here? Why do people
Florida
like to think they
GOP?
are-
Read that one.
Florida GOP Representative Maria Elvis Salazar was called. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'm happy to come to that a little bit after this next topic. Yeah, that was a beauty because yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit. But yeah, I had this one clip regarding my next subject here, which is the Republicans wanting to ban TikTok. I couldn't find that clip, so this is the best I could do regarding what clip I could find. So this is it.
In my first week as president, we would ban TikTok. They want to go ahead and sell it? Let them go ahead and sell it. TikTok should be banned because they are poisoning American minds, and I would do it week one.
We are going to do that, and we are going to make sure to protect the American people. It's a full spectrum approach to be able to fend China off.
What we should do is ban TikTok, period. Now, we saw under former President Trump, he tried to ban TikTok twice, but was struck down by our federal courts. If you cannot ban TikTok, you should eliminate the Chinese presence on the app. Period.
Here's the truth. The easy answer is actually to say that we're just going to ban one app. We got to go further. We have to ban any U.S. company actually transferring U.S. data to the Chinese.
Well, the right wing loves to go on about cancel culture, but whether they are banning or burning fucking books or denying
and capitalism.
Yeah, exactly. Or denying trans people any rights whatsoever, or in this case,
banning drag shows.
Yeah, exactly, which is quite common in the US military, drag. But regardless, your man Vivek wants to ban fucking TikTok, Brickby. But yes, now they want to ban TikTok as well. And the funny thing is, so many right wingers, so many Trump supporters, they are on TikTok. They love fucking TikTok, and these motherfucking Republicans want to ban it, and yet they still get support. It's absolutely.
And the only reason that
the reason why they want to ban it is because America doesn't control it. Facebook, Twitter, they've got their fingers in those particular pies. But TikTok is a Chinese app, a very popular Chinese app, and so when you see not propaganda, but when you see news regarding certain atrocities like the Israel-Palestinian conflict being explained fairly on the app, and it's not done on Facebook or Twitter where it could be obscured in a particular way, they can't fucking handle that shit. When their own politicians are getting called out and it's not being banned on something like fucking YouTube, they can't fucking handle that shit. So that's their problem with TikTok. And
I've got nothing to add. That's exactly what I was going to say, mate.
They want to control it. They can't control it, so they want to ban it. I mean, and they call themselves the land of the fucking free, as well. It's so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Look, things like TikTok, again, I loathe TikTok, but
I love it now.
When it's able to kind of get certain things out there that other places would ban it, like, say, Instagram, for example, will suppress you. Facebook, notoriously bad for suppressing news in general, because it just doesn't want it on its platform. All right. And TikTok, and TikTok ain't great, because TikTok is just as bad as anywhere else in banning left-wing commentators. They're just flat out banning people. All right, on TikTok. So I've got, again, like, TikTok sucks, but sometimes it's a necessity in getting some message across where it would be suppressed on other platforms. It's the same reason I argue with people like Fratis and William about the need for RT. So RT, the Russia Today network, where they're like, it's just Russian propaganda. I'm like, yeah, but at least there, despite the Russian propaganda stuff, at least they're American journalists and British journalists are allowed the platform to openly criticize things that are genuinely wrong with the establishment. Over there, they can't criticize Russia that's fine. Sometimes, you know, you've got to work with your enemy in order to fucking enlighten people about the atrocities going on in your country. So it's the same with Al Jazeera and things like that. They're not perfect, but you need somewhere where you can speak that is out of the control of the establishment. And you need these so-called necessary evils, all right? And TikTok is one of those, you know. But they just, now they're going to ramp up more pressure to ban it just because, like you said, the Palestine stuff, you know, because people are openly able to talk about the atrocities there. They're going to try and ramp up the efforts. But again, if it gets banned in America, it gets banned in America. It won't get banned in Europe. Though, you know, Germany, if any country would ban it in Europe,
TYT are not left wing.
TYT.
No. I still watch TYT, and
they're a bunch of cunts. That's what they are.
They are. They're still left wing, dude. I mean,
no, they're
all
not.
of them. Dude, I watch TYT, man. Like they're still pro trans.
Dubheads.
They're more centre left now than they would be left wing.
That still makes them left wing. I mean,
it depends on the situation, you know. It
They're
depends
still
on the
worth
situation.
watching. I think they're still worth watching. You've got to get your information everywhere and filter it.
Yeah,
I don't agree. I don't agree with them. Look, there's people who I agree with on many things, but I don't agree with them on everything, and that's including TYT. They have some takes I'll never agree with them on. But overall, I still feel that we're all on the same side when it comes to certain things. You know, I mean, they're far obviously more better off Cenk being one of the first major YouTube channels, especially for the left, to establish himself. So he's become quite profitable. Maybe some of his mindset has changed regarding how things are because he's obviously a more wealthier man. But overall, I do believe he's way more for equal rights than any right-wing channel out there, or even center-right channel out there. I don't look at Cenk as a homophobe. I don't look at him as a transphobe. No, he's not a transphobe, dude. He's not a transphobe.
He's a transphobe.
He's not a transphobe, dude.
No, he's not.
He's not. He's not a transphobe.
Two people who work for him came out and say he is. So I don't think.
No, it's the co-host that's being rumored about, not him.
Yeah, it's Anna, and he obviously is. He stands by Anna, but he himself, and I've heard his rhetoric regarding trans people many a time, even more recently when that new draconian law which came out in Florida not too long ago, so it might come out in Florida regarding fraud. And so if you're a trans person, you could be committing fraud because you might say you're one gender when you're another, and so you could be arrested for fraud as a trans person in Florida, and could get 5 years for that. And he was shitting all over that bill, Cenk was, and that was a recent news story. He's not a transphobe. When you're shitting on stuff like that, I understand people have their issues with TYT. I totally get it, yeah. But I think the way people jump on this bandwagon of on constantly hating on them when they've done so much good for the left wing cause in the past. And they've created other channels that inspired other channels because of what they've done. I think it's a very much a British attitude of building them up and then bringing them back down again, and shitting on them. And I totally disagree. There are people I know who.
Hang on. To be fair, no, the British rhetoric is to knock people down, even when they've done nothing wrong. But TYT have done a lot of shit wrong, and they're being attacked is validated. Now, yeah, okay. I wouldn't say that they're anything on the right wing or all of that, but they're not as fucking far left as they once were. They've definitely moved more towards the center left. And again, that's
what we're saying.
Yeah. But again, you just because we're talking about the kind of social issues doesn't mean that they've got on financial stuff. Again, Cenk, vehemently anti-union. All right,
I'm very much aware of these things, and once again, I'm not going to share it's very hard to find somebody who shares all of my personal opinions, but at the same time, I would, if I had a choice between Cenk and pretty much anybody else running for president right now, I take him.
Oh, for
You know?
sure. Oh, God,
You
yeah,
know,
in
like-
a heartbeat.
Oh,
in
yeah,
a heartbeat. You know, so I
Like,
just
compared to like Asuka or Owen Jones, they're more left wing, and they're the people I tend to watch.
And the thing is,
Was
as
that-
well, look, okay, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna completely shit on TYT. And again, what they did and all that, yeah, their past is their past, but they haven't grown as much as other people have grown in terms of their kind of
Yeah, they
views
become
and
much
looking
more
at what
corporate.
younger generations are doing. But at the end of the day, they're not somebody to go after unless there's a real reason to go after them. So the whole thing that surrounded Anna Kasparian and the trans issue, and then Cenk and Anna doubling down rather than being proven wrong, which is very typical of that region. I know because that's my region. Okay, people like that will not accept when they are wrong. They will double down, and that's what made people hate them more. Because as a progressive, you're meant to say that, okay, having looked at the facts, we will admit we got caught in by the, because Anna got caught in with all the fucking bigoted talking points against trans people. She got sucked into that bollocks. Okay, and she doubled down on it. And that just does not make you look good. In fact, it just paints you as pieces of shit. So that's where
what
people
Cenk
fell out
said-
with TYT.
What Cenk said about it was that I don't agree with her, but I also agree that she has the right to her own opinions, and that we could have a disagreement, and I can argue with her and try and change her mind.
That's
It's
fine,
not
but
his
when your
op- it's
opinion
not
is
his
wrong,
opinion.
yeah, but when your opinion is wrong, okay, then you should admit and understand
I'm not
why it's
defending
wrong.
her. I'm not.
No,
defending
you're
her.
not. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, yeah, I'm just saying. And Cenk is a stubborn fuck as well. He's notoriously stubborn when he's wrong. He hates being proven wrong. Like,
You hate
even,
being
so I'll
proven
give you a prime example. So when I was watching them, okay, I mean, I got turned off by them during the whole Trump thing because they came out pathetic during Trump's run as president, okay? They kept doing all these stupid segments and talking a load of bollocks. And Cenk and Anna made a bet, and Cenk was like, he's not going to complete his full term. And then when he did complete his full term, and Anna was like, pay up, he spent a whole hour making excuses as to keep moving the goalposts as to why he didn't lose the bet. So that's the kind of childish mentality you're dealing with when it comes to them two. So they're a relic anyway. I find them they're a relic. If I dipped in now and then, they don't offer anything grandiose or great compared to, say, like the Humanist Report or what's the other, like David Dole and all these kind of like people that are way better.
No,
Yeah, I
I
mean, I
agree.
used to
They've
like-
changed. They've changed over
I-
the years. I used to find them a great source of information, and they're just more salacious now, I think, as well. And they were more into nuance and politics, and were informative, and they're not quite that anymore. But I would still occasionally go back to them, just like I would go to Al Jazeera or other sources, and
Yeah,
go,
even
okay,
from me-
if this makes sense, why does it make sense? And then be my own devil's advocate, and not just get my source from something like Fox or something.
Like, for instance, like David Pakman, I like David Pakman, but he's so biased on the Israel thing is fuck, and he knows that within himself, because now he doesn't talk about Israel anymore because he's fucking losing viewers and subscribers because they know how fucking one-sided he is, and he's being very disingenuous on the whole Israel thing. And going into David Pakman now, I'm going to be going on to that Maria Salazar thing, but this is the best clip I could find regarding Maria Salazar. So there's a little bit of David Pakman on it, and then after that, it goes straight into the clip. So let's go.
Beautiful journalism.
Last month, you were at FIU and you presented a check for $650,000 to help small businesses at FIU. But you voted against the bill that gave the money that you then signed a check for and handed and had a photo op, the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2023, right? You voted against that bill.
I right now you have to give me more details, but I do know that every time I have an opportunity to
I just don't remember, Jim. Did I vote again? It's not, I don't know. What are the details of that?
Bring money to my constituents. I do so. I just did $400,000. But look,
well, you voted against the Chips and Science Act, right?
Listen, right now I need to.
That's a pretty straightforward question. She's not answering.
Ask my staff, but what do we look at the $40 million that I have brought to this community? Aren't you proud of me? Aren't you proud of the $40 million that I brought? Now that I wrote the Dignity Act, haven't I? Let's talk about the Americas Act.
Wait a second. One second.
Tell me.
The money that you talk about, the $40 million that you bring back to the district,
guilty.
Sometimes that money comes from bills that you voted against. You voted against the CHIPS Act, and yet you praise the fact that the South Florida Climate Resilience Tech Hub is going to be started in Miami.
Yeah, it's called being a brazen, opportunistic hypocrite. That's what it's called.
Right? You voted against the infrastructure bill, and you talk about all the money that comes back to the airport. So at the same time that you're taking credit for the money that you bring back to the district, in Washington, you're voting against these projects on party line votes.
Listen, that was, I think, last cycle.
Dude, my hypocritical vote was before. Now I'm doing something. Now I'm taking advantage of this. Jim, what's wrong with what I'm doing? Please. These are nasty questions, Jim.
Not really remember right now, but just look at the Americas Act, which is what I'm going to, which is what I would like.
You don't want to explain why you
really cannot. I mean, right now, and I'm not trying to be a politician, there's so many bills that I've introduced that I know that many
these are bills
of them
that you voted against.
I understand. But then it's okay. Sometimes I vote and sometimes I don't. But let's look at the positive. Let's look at the $40 million that I brought. And let's look at the.
If it was a positive thing to bring that money to her district, why didn't she vote in favor of it? And this is not the only example of this. We've got a bunch of Republicans.
Okay, that's enough.
I'm not trying to be a politician. No, you're just not a good one, honey.
Hello, Fish.
Yeah, we do talk. Yeah, we mentioned Apollo Creed at the beginning of the show. TLD. Yeah, Carl Weathers has died. Yeah,
love that actor, but yeah, I'll talk about it tomorrow in Bollocks and Banter.
Yeah, exactly. Just so Maria Salazar, Republican, goes against Democratic policies, but they end up going through, fortunately for the sake of society. And then these Republicans then take credit for these very policies that the Democrats have pulled through, even though that these Republicans, like Maria Salazar, signed against it. You could see how disingenuous she was being in that interview. She's so disingenuous. She's deflecting. She doesn't want to talk about these particular points. Oh, I can't remember and all of this shit. You know what I mean? It drives me fucking nuts. You know, when people fall for these fucking scam artists, you should be able to see right through these motherfuckers, be able to pick apart who they are. We are all old enough and wise enough to know bullshit and smell it when we see it. And that woman is fucking smeared herself in fucking bullshit. Yeah, and it just annoys me. It just annoys me that she still has a position in power and she's being very disingenuous, you know, and taking credit for Democratic policies. Fucking, this is why I hate the right wing. What were you guys going to say?
She did vote for this, and she's so proud of this money coming back. She'd be the first one to say, yes, I did vote for that. You know, like it wouldn't be, there'd be no pause, there'd be no pushback, there'd be no deflection. If she's so glad about the money and she thinks she's responsible and voted yes for it, she'd be like, yes, I did. But no.
Exactly. But they'll always vote against anything that will make the Democrats look good, because then they can weaponize it against them. But at the end of the day, when they get pushback on it and then they start crying, oh, you know, this is you're being anti-democratic, going against me. I'm the victim here. I'm the victim. Even though I screwed over millions of workers, I'm the victim. Fucking.
You know, that I'm supposed to represent in Washington and make sure that they have safe, healthy, happy, lawful existence here in the States. But fuck them. I'm here for a paycheck.
Yeah, and people like, you know, they forget what the government is there for. The government is there to make a society better, not be fucking, you know, helping just a handful of rich cunts get richer.
You work for me, bitch. You work for me.
Yeah.
That was a good clip, though, and she's not the only Republican who's done this. A lot of Republicans do, but it's crazy people vote for them because they have no actual policies to help people. They've got culture war policies that fuck on people who are minorities of some sort. But when it comes to genuinely trying to help people, they've got nothing.
Well,
all
that's
they do,
why
the cancel
they have
culture,
the whole,
book banning, the lot. They've got nothing.
The whole trans thing right now in Florida. This is exactly why they need that issue, because if they didn't have that issue, people might see her doing this shit and fucking the Floridians over, bending them over, not even lubing up, just throwing some sand in there.
But the thing is, as well, those policies are not really popular among their own voters. Like Republicans, again, let's go back to when the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, and we had the I can't remember what they call them in America, but we had the by-elections come up 2 years ago, and the Republicans had their asses handed to them on a plate because they focused on the abortion issue. They focused on the anti-trans rhetoric, and the voters, all the polls showed that even right-wingers do not give a fuck about these issues. They're dying, they're poor, they're hungry. That's what they care. They don't care about. They don't even care about the culture war bullshit. They know that it's bollocks. That's why like you'll see that how the word, like using the word woke, just doesn't have the same venom it once did. Or the word SJW has completely disappeared from the lexicon of the right because the majority of voters don't care. They're not buying it, and they've had enough. They're hungry, they're poor, and they're just like, what does going against trans people, or what does going against the culture war shit? How does that help put food on my family's table? And going against women when half of your fucking voter base are women as well, and you're going against them, and the majority of women, like how many Republican states had all of their referendums on abortion lost? They lost the referendums to ban abortions because women came out and voted and said, no, my body, my choice. I don't care. It's not a left or right issue. It's my body. And so the Republicans shit themselves. They're shitting themselves. So people talk about, oh, Trump might win the next election, but I'd say, like, even if Trump wins, it's what happens on the state level, because Republicans are going to face obliteration. And if it wasn't for gerrymandering, they hardly any of them would fucking exist anyway. And if it wasn't for voter suppression, half of these cunts wouldn't exist anyway. So, it's just people have had enough.
Yeah,
purging the voter rolls and gerrymandering.
So it's like in this country, the people trying keeping this issue alive are stupid, flaming centrist women who don't understand that people. The reason they're bringing this issue over here is that it gets them to ignore the actual issues that actually do affect them.
But if you look at the Tories, see over in here in the UK, the Tories have ramped up anti-immigration rhetoric even more so than before because they know they don't have anything to go on. They're going to face annihilation in the next election, and they're probably going to become a relic party. Like, we'll end up, Reform UK will be like the major kind of far-right party. Labour will be the right-wing party, and then, God willing, the fucking Greens will take the mantle for the left, and we're hoping that they get a couple of seats in the next election. and that, but, they think that going to, talking about anti-immigration, all this kind of shit, but then people are sitting there, and then now they're starting to realise, like, well, hang on a second, you've been in power for 13 years, you're the one letting all these people in, you're the one letting them cross over, because migration in this country is out of control because you've slashed the budgets of the Home Office, you've decimated every institution, because that's what the right does. It doesn't like a functioning government, because a functioning government means that some people will need to be held accountable. Okay, and so of course people are able to come into this country, and but you've got no other policies. You're not offering anything. You want to privatize everything. You want to transfer all power to corporations and capital. And so you're just going to ramp up the one thing you think people are still interested in, and that's against immigration. But it's just not going to help you. See, the right needs to dangle a carrot, and the establishment needs to dangle like little pockets of betterment, like New Labour did under Blair, which is like little pockets, and that because they don't have anything, you know. And if people woke up, especially in the UK, so in the UK, there is a chance for another party other than Labour and the Conservatives to rule the country. But people in this country are the dumbest fucking people in the world when it comes to knowing about politics, that we still allow the big two to reign supreme. You know.
Okay, I'm going to look at this article for Tiffany Haynard. This is for some American politician. I'm just gonna put it up right now. This is for TLD, who want me to mention it. So
okay.
This is first female mayor of tiny Illinois village who hired child gang rapist is slammed for living like a just reading that was crazy. Slammed for living like a royal after demanding $300,000 salary using taxpayer money for billboard, hair, and makeup, and passing laws so next mayor will earn just $25,000. Tiffany Haynard was elected mayor of Dalton in 2021 and been mired in controversy since. The 40-year-old politician regularly uses professional stylists and beauty teams ahead of public appearances, but it is recent to discuss how they are paid. She has courted even more controversy for controversial salary bill that many feel is a bid to dissuade competition at the next election. All right, the first
they
mayor
can change
of
the
tiny
fucking law when they get in.
Yep. The first female mayor of tiny Illinois village has been slammed for living like a royal at the taxpayer's expense by taking a $300,000 salary and racking up a huge expense. Glamorous Tiffany Haynard was elected leader of Dalton, a village of 20,000 people, in 2021, but has since come under fire for what many see as excessive spending. She regularly engages the services of professional hair and makeup team and stylists before public appearances and photo shoots for the county's taxpayer-funded billboards, which often feature the 40-year-old and will have some see as a shameless self-promotion. Haynard has always snapped in tasteful, expensive-looking outfits. She has posted photos of herself getting out of a chauffeur-driven SUVs, with one Instagram post even appearing to show her with a dog laden with jewelry. Haynard, who often refers to herself as God's favorite, now has sparked further outrage by proposing a new law that would cap the next mayor's salary at $25,000 unless she remains in the role. Fucking bitch. Many believe the proposal
doesn't.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. It does not fucking matter if you're black, if you're white. Okay? Democrat, Republican, they're all the same fucking. If they're a bunch of self-serving narcissists, that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
It's all about themselves.
Many believe the proposal, which has been branded illegal, is an attempt to dissuade anyone from running against her in 2025. Now, trustees in the town have filed a lawsuit against her alleged forgery and claim she withheld financial records.
They should run the bitch out of town.
The scandal is just the latest to hit a beleaguered mayor after she was slammed for hiring her former campaign worker as a town's code enforcement officer, despite the fact he's a convicted child rapist. She also raised eyebrows after spending hundreds of thousands of tax dollars of security details, including one of an event of senior citizens, and another occasion where she pulled cops off the street to perform a protection outfit. Among other expenses was a trip to Las Vegas, where she racked up a $3,000 airfare, apparently to attend a conference. Questions have emerged over how she funds her apparent lavish lifestyle, especially since she has repeatedly swerved questions and dismissed criticism by branding trustees for the township as haters in TikTok videos. Dalton trustees say she's not explained the need for her eye-watering security budget. They also claim she's issued checks with proper authorization. I see no justification whatsoever, and more than is really a deterrent to the city of Dalton, trustee Jason House told Fox 32. Fox 32, if we were to take the same money and put it on the officers patrolling the streets, then the residents will see a much better presence and public safety will be better. Haynard, a Democrat, was sworn in the mayor in May, becoming the first woman and the youngest person to occupy that post in Dalton's 128-year history. A year after her election, Dalton residents triggered a recall process, largely due to her hiring a convicted sex offender, Lavelle Raymond, into the role that will require him to enter people's homes. According to reporting at the time, but then 16-year-old Redmond and 3 others kidnapped and sexually assaulted 2 girls aged 13 and 14. At age 17, Redmond was sentenced to 50 years in prison, but was paroled in 2016 and required to register as a sex offender. At the time, Haynard defended the move, stating the convicts who had served their time a second chance. However, the recall failed on the technicality, and Haynard remained in post, turning up to the next board meeting, blasting a disco song and dancing on the podium. Following the verdict, she also posted a defiant picture on Instagram proclaiming herself as the people's mayor with a caption, I am and forever will be Dalton's mayor.
No, just chase her the fuck out of town, mate.
Yeah, I'm done reading this, by the way, but yeah, what a terrible person.
Terrible fucking person.
Yeah, terrible fucking person.
She sounds like a Christian cinema, you know. Fucking became a Democrat and just became a corrupt piece of shit. You know.
Yeah, but this woman doesn't look like she was. She's a bit different to cinema. Cinema was sold out to corporations. This woman just basically did it for the glam. She was like trying to be like a fucking,
she robbed the fucking town.
Yeah, she wanted to be a rock star as a mayor. You know, and then basically, in putting herself in a position where she'll be mayor for life by making it an untenable position for somebody to overtake her or to take over from her, a successor, so to speak. So what a fucking bitch, man! What a fucking bitch!
Yeah, what a bitch! Good, nice one, TLD. That was a good fucking read.
Yeah.
I hope we're updated on that one, and I hope it's good news.
Yeah, keep us updated on that, TLD.
You can't, but Brick B, she might be innocent. You never know, like Vince McMahon. You know?
Yeah, she might be innocent. Yeah,
Brick B. Yeah, you shouldn't you shouldn't jump to conclusions, mate. What are you?
Yeah, bit racist, aren't you, mate?
Yeah, exactly.
Bit racist.
Yeah. Her security worked 22 hours a day, man. I can't believe that. All right. Okay, guys, we briefly spoke about this, but this is my final thing on my list today of right-wing country. Let me just put it up. And I wanted to finish on this one because this person, in my opinion, has taken over from Lady Gaga as the new hate figure of the right wing. And that being
Taylor Swift.
Taylor fucking Swift. Yeah. And she is a Swift one, I may add.
I hate Taylor Swift because I've been told to hate Taylor Swift. So now I hate her.
Well, I know Rick B hates Taylor Swift because he's been told to hate Taylor Swift. So
I don't follow her music, but she's a person who's allowed to exist. I hear she does a lot of great charity work. And if she's dating some footballer and they put her on the screen for 60 seconds, why the fuck should you care?
The fact that these motherfuckers, before I start this clip, the fact that these motherfuckers have an issue with celebrities, getting involved in politics when they themselves have celebrities on their own side who get involved in politics. They don't mind showing people like you, Kevin. They're all fucking failures, like Kevin Sorbo and John Boyd, who's had a hit in God knows. I'm surprised he's still alive.
Ted Nugent.
Obviously Ted Nugent and fucking Kid Rock. These guys are gagging for some.
These are Cheetos heroes, by the way.
Yeah, and was it Brodus Clay who's had to become a commentator on Fox News? I think he got done for beating his wife recently. But anyway, let's just check out this.
It is Brodus Clay, but he's now what's his name? Tyrus Magnus. That's his name.
Yeah. Well, anyway, here's this very beautiful clip of showing the right-wing meltdown.
We have had enough of Taylor Swift for now.
She shouldn't be liberal. She should be a total conservative, given everything.
The Pentagon PSYOP unit pitched NATO on turning Taylor Swift into an asset.
Yesterday, She flew private from New York City to Baltimore. Yet she constantly talks about climate change. So just please don't believe everything Taylor Swift says. We're all begging you. I think she should just stick to her singing and let her love life be what it is.
The New York Times just speculated she's a lesbian.
A new poll shows 18% of voters are likely to vote for whichever candidate Taylor Swift endorses.
Biden effectively has Taylor Swift as his VP.
A single post of hers led to 35,000 new registrants. That's arguably more power than the president.
She's sharing links. And her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, sponsored by Pfizer.
What's her stance on policy, economic policy, foreign policy?
I don't think that'll be. So don't get involved. Don't get involved in politics. We don't want to see you.
She didn't. She just said, I don't care how you vote. Just go register and go vote. If they're afraid of people not voting for them because Taylor Swift encourages people to vote, that's on them, not on her. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the Republicans, they don't want people out there voting because that means they will lose.
Right, so
that's a fun fact, by the way.
Yes, so basically she's been dating an NFL star and going to his games, and that's gotten a lot of views from people who don't watch NFL games usually. So women and young girls have been watching NFL games because she's at the games. So she's brought a new fan base, which is what they want. And then but people on the right wing will be like losing their fucking minds, going, "Oh, she should be at games. She's taking the eyes away. No, she's bringing eyes to the game. You fucking idiots."
Yeah, and it's not her fault. Like the camera keeps panning to her. That's on the NFL. The NFL are doing that, not her. She's just going there being a supportive girlfriend. Being a loving, supporting girlfriend, wife, which falls within the rhetoric of the whole family first thing that Republicans go on about, and they're sitting there going, she should stay at home, she should do this. Again, they're just triggered by Taylor Swift because she just encouraged people to go out.
They don't have a Taylor Swift of their own. They would love to have somebody. I mean, the only person who is their Taylor Swift is the person who's running for president himself, which is Donald Trump. But outside of him, they have nothing. And even the funny thing is, Taylor Swift has more followers than Donald Trump. But regardless, what I find funny is that they have an issue with this one beautiful person who's a celebrity going out with another beautiful person who's a celebrity. It's not like one music star like Victoria Beckham never went out with another sports star like David Beckham. It does fucking happen. People from one industry or celebrity goes out with another industry or celebrity.
Yeah. She hasn't said or done anything outside of the go out and register to vote. She's done nothing since. She's not in the limelight talking to people, this, that, and the other. But it also falls on the other thing as well. So-called alpha males are absolutely fucking petrified of rich, successful women because they can't be controlled. And any woman that can't be controlled scares the ever-living shit out of right-wingers. Okay, it scares them because it's not how the world should be in their worldview. Women should be submissive. Women should do everything the man says and all this. But then I'm like, okay, if that's your point of view, why aren't you out there protesting female journalists on Fox News? Given their right wing, all those female journalists should be at home, just serving their husband, looking after their family. I've had every argument that I have with right-wing women. I always purposely degrade them, and I don't mean to do it, but I do it to prove a point. And I say, hang on a second, wait, why are you talking to me? This is a man's conversation. Go back in the kitchen and do your womanly duties. And then they're like, oh, how dare you, and all that. I'm like, but that's what you're supporting. You are supporting that very thing. That's your ideology. Go in the kitchen, serve your husband, be a mother to your children, don't have any opinion, don't work, don't say a goddamn thing. That's your side. That's not my side. So go away. And they get triggered by it, but they don't understand the irony.
The ironic thing, Ginger, as well, is that the best thing to happen to female right-wingers is feminism. It's giving them the opportunity to be on Fox News, to be a fucking journalist, to be a social media influencer. All of these things is feminism. And without it, they wouldn't have a fucking shout to do anything whatsoever. These dumb fucking bitches.
Just these two comments here by TLD. She brought $330 million of revenue to the NFL. And then go to Vance's comment if you can, please, Sam.
Same people calling for Taylor Swift to not make their football political don't even notice the military flyovers during the game. But yeah, but these same people have no problem with Kid Rock being political or Kevin Sorbo being political. You know, they have no problem with their right-wing celebrities being political, but they have an issue with someone like LeBron James who needs to shut up and dribble. You know, like they're so full of shit and they're so hypocritical. There was a reason the Romans built the Colosseum. Those reasons haven't. Yeah, you're damn right.
Exactly. But the thing is that a lot of people on the right wing have complained about the fact that her family's rich. They're saying, "Oh, people who like her don't understand that her family is rich. Like, you know, like her dad's was some sort of executive for some company. It's like, who gives a fuck? She's a billionaire. What the fuck are you talking about?
She's at a level of rich now, which she never was when she was before she became famous. You know, she superseded her wealth, and it's always good to see rich people like her, you know, in a way trying to give opportunities and make people aware of what side they should be on. And she does that.
Let's just look at Taylor Swift as a whole. I'm not a fan of her music at all. Her music, except for Shake It Off, that's a banger. I like that song. All right, but it's not that. Take away before telling people, you know, encouraging people to register to vote. What did Taylor Swift do? Taylor Swift has always fought on the side of, I, as the artist, should be keeping most of my money, making most of my money. Okay, these record executives, these record companies are garbage. They're trash. They treat artists like shit. They underpay them. They con them. They take their money and all this kind of shit. And she had to fight to get the rights back to her own music when she left her record, the record label that she was with. She also, for a long time, wouldn't put her music on Spotify because it's like the revenue artists get from that is ridiculous. And she had her stuff on like Tidal, which had a much better revenue split and all this kind of shit. So she's always fought for the right thing for people within her own industry to get what's rightfully theirs. Okay, so her then now saying to people, yeah, go register to vote, is very much in keeping with her and saying like, there should be fairness and equality in the world, and don't let the big man step on you. You know, have your voice, have your say. That's always been how she's come across to me. Yes, you could argue that she talks environmentalism, but flies a private jet like fucking crazy all over the world. That winds me up a lot.
Well,
but
she does sort of offset that with her charity work, but you're right.
Yeah, I get that. Like, I was going to say, like, you know, but she made a fuck. She's the first person to ever get 1 billion revenue from a tour. But what did she do with a lot of that money? A lot of that money, she gave huge bonuses to all the fucking workers, the roadies, all the backstage people that put the stuff together. She didn't keep all of it for herself.
Local food banks.
Yeah, all this kind of stuff. So, like, she's a genuinely good person, despite the fact that she grew up very, very wealthy and very, very privileged. She knows, she's not stupid. She's very clever. She understands what's going on around the world. All right. And that's why I've got a lot of love and respect for people like Taylor Swift. They still understand the plight of people. Okay. And fun fact, she used to babysit Jeff Jarrett's kids as well, who's a wrestler. They were neighbors. But yeah, that's why, like, again, her music sucks. But like, she's like, you know, top-notch person.
And this is no different to Lady Gaga, who was the number one fucking person they were going after in the past. it just happens to be fucking Taylor Swift now. And the fact that all Taylor Swift did was tell people to register and vote. Yeah, if that scares the shit out of you as a Republican, then you know your policies are shit, and you're relying on your diehards to get you into office. Rick B says LeBron James is a moron. I don't know anything about LeBron. I know I'm upset with his stance on Israel Palestine, but he's pro-Israeli. But the guy has built schools, and I give him credit for that. And on top of that, even though you might consider him being a moron, he shouldn't just have to shut up and dribble, which is what that other moron said, Laura Ingraham, regarding her opinion on him, because she does not think like that when it comes to fucking right-wing sports personalities like that Riley Gaines or what the fuck her name is, like just shut up and swim. I bet she doesn't think like that.
Also, look at they love that Turkish basketball player who's a huge Trump fan. I forget his name, but he also changed his fucking name to something like Freedom or some stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
They love him. They'll have him in. They're not telling him to shut up and dribble because he talks about exactly the things that they like. If anything, I'll tell conservatives, shut up, stop being a snowflake, and understand that people have a difference of opinion. You don't like it, tough shit.
There's UFC fighters who are sportsmen as well. They're not saying to those Trump supporting UFC fighters to shut up and throw punches. They're happy to hear with that Kobe something, whatever his name is. His whole gimmick was MAGA, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And you know what? Trump doesn't want anything to do with it because even though he's a good fighter, he's also a loser. And that's why you don't see Trump anywhere near him, because even though Trump's a loser himself, doesn't want anything to do with that particular loser. And now Sean Strickland, who fortunately also lost, and I'm really happy he did, because the moment he started being transphobic and homophobic, he deserved to lose, and I'm glad he did. Let's see where his fucking career goes. You like Lady Gaga?
Also,
that's a shock.
I just want to go back. Yeah, I love Lady Gaga as well, and I actually like her music. Well, her earlier stuff anyway. But like, if we go pre telling people to register to vote, the amount of slut shaming that was going on for Taylor Swift just because she was having fun. She's famous. She can fuck any guy she wants, and she did. And it's good on her. You're supposed to do that when you're young. When you're young, you're supposed to explore yourself and have fun and not get bogged down. But if you want to be in a monogamous relationship, that's your thing. But she didn't want to. She shagged around. She did her thing. But then she was shacked up with one bloke for 6 years. Nobody said shit about that. Her loyalty to that fella before they broke up, and now she's dating the footballer. Nobody said shit. They only had an opinion on her when she was sleeping around. Miley Cyrus is another one. Again, Miley Cyrus, they tried to control her. They tried to tell her, stay in your lane, just do your music, be like Hannah Montana. And I cannot explain how much I love Miley Cyrus. Okay,
she's so talented.
First of all, her music, great. Her voice is fantastic, but she knows how to rile the press up. She knows how to rile up the right-wing media so much. She was pure trolling them in every way. Whenever they said to her, don't do this, not only did she did it, she did it times 10. And I can mainly talk about the British press over here, how much they fucking despised her because she was a woman in control of her own body, knew exactly what she wanted to do, and did not listen and did not bow down to pressure from our own press over here. She's just like, I'm going to do what I want. I'm going to mess around. And she doesn't like sleep around or anything like that. She was with Hemsworth for ages, and he was a complete fuckhead of a person. Liam. They were married and all that, but he was a complete fucking druggy idiot and a moron. They took her down a dark path, and that's why they kind of split up. But yeah, I just love Miley Cyrus. Like I love women that just tell basically the patriarchy to go fuck themselves, because it's all about your body and your freedom. She's so fucking talented as an entertainer. I think people
don't really know. She's a decent actress as well. I saw this one thing where she pretended to be an Australian journalist, and she was going around telling people, "Do you know who this person is?" And it's a picture of Miley Cyrus, and she's being but she's pretending she's like.
What's she do? Was she showing a picture of Miley Cyrus as like Hannah Montana look?
I can't remember that.
Oh, right.
But
Yeah.
she was donning the Aussie accent, and she looked a little. She didn't completely transform herself, like she had prosthetics on her face to make her look totally different. She just had a wig on and stuff like that. Had the accent and made herself out to be somebody else. But then she's showing pictures of herself, Miley Cyrus, going, "Do you know who this person is?" And it was absolutely hilarious. You know, I mean, yeah, she's
Brilliant.
very, very, she's really
She's
talented.
awesome.
And you know what? I think a lot of people wanted all these all these singers to be like the next Britney Spears. You know, someone young comes in the industry, falls apart. I mean, Britney Spears was never, by the way, one of her things when she was young, when she was early in the industry, was that she was a virgin. And, you know, I knew she wasn't. She was on this one show, and somebody was asking her about her virginity, and she wasn't speaking proudly about it. She was very embarrassed about it, and she wanted to change the subject, which made me realize, you know what? You don't want to talk about it because you've been fucking fucked probably in every orifice possible. So that's why you don't want to.
Well, that, or it's just that she doesn't want to talk about it because nobody's goddamn fucking business.
No. You know, look. If she's happy to go on about, it's not about anyone's got that business, because she made it everyone's got that business by constantly going on about the fact that she's a fucking virgin. So when she's on a goddamn chat show and she's been asked about this specific,
Yeah, but that was pushed by the record labels to do that.
You know that because she was never a virgin in the first place. I can see through the bullshit, but I have no problem with that, whether she's a virgin or not. It was just a stupid angle to go with overall, in my opinion. But I felt sorry for her because she was put in that situation. But regardless, she's only luckily for all these other singers who've come after her, they haven't fallen into the same sort of rut that she did. And in a way, Britney Spears is not too bad. She's in good shape now. Experienced woman. She's a mother doing shows and stuff like that. And all these other people who come after her, like Miley Cyrus and Taylor Swift, they've done very well for themselves. Sorry, guys.
I was going to say, like, with the difference between Britney and these people is that they have their own platforms. They're the ones in charge. It's not some talentless wanker who's writing the checks saying, "You must do this. This is what you must look like. This is what you must dress like. This is what you must sound like. This is what you must dance like." It's like, no, like, Miley Cyrus was on Disney, so had a platform that she could evolve from being this Disney princess almost into what she is now, which is like, the only thing I don't like about her is that she goes on like Joe Rogan and stuff like that. I hate that guy. I hate that guy so much.
I never knew that.
Yeah, she's been on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, she goes on Joe Rogan. A lot of people go on Joe Rogan. That doesn't take nothing away from her.
Bernie Sanders and fucking.
She hasn't been on there for years.
Carl Kalinski's going on Joe Rogan.
Yeah, but like I like people like Lady Gaga's another one who owns her own. He's the boss of her own music and her own style and her own look. And people go, "Oh, why you do this? Why you do that?" It's like, because that's what I want to do. And people
the thing is, go on, Christine.
If you like boss bitches that are singers, check out Chinchilla. Little girl. Do you like her?
No, you cut out. I didn't hear who you said.
Oh, there's a British singer. She's named Chinchilla, and she's a boss bitch. And there's 2 songs you should check out. First, "Little Girl Gone," the official video, and then watch "Elements," the lyrics video by Chinchilla.
I'll listen to that quickly now. Just to go back on your thing, Britney Spears as well. Like, she because she didn't have good protection around her as well, which is
different time as well. By the way, there's a different era as well. The men were way more
exactly.
dominant.
She didn't have the protection around her. She was being exploited by her own family as well, and the way the paparazzi just fucking hounded her was just disgusting. Like, the poor woman had a public meltdown.
The shaving head.
Yeah, exactly. She had a public meltdown. The shaving her head was like her just saying, "I'm not doing this anymore. Fuck you all. You know, I'm gonna be me." And then when it all kind of died out, she went into conservativeship under her family, and they controlled every aspect of her fucking life.
Because
to
she
the
didn't
point
want to
where-
produce anymore. She was like,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
and
they're
they
like-
were forcing her to do things and all this. So that like honestly, she suffered so much. It's
She
just
wrote-
horrible,
wrote-
and that's why, like you say, it's good seeing people like Miley and Taylor and all these kind of people just say, "Fuck you! I'm not going to be another Britney Spears. I'm taking complete control. This is me. This is my body. This is my situation. That's what I'm going to do." And again, the other thing I like about Taylor Swift is the record industry. They really wanted her to just put her in constant skimpy outfits and make her like a whore and all this kind of shit. And she was just always like, "No, fuck you. That's not me. I have talent. I can write music. I don't need to sell my body to sell music."
They did that with Mariah Carey because when she first came on the scene, we could all tell she was a beautiful woman, but she was never scantily clad. And all of a sudden, she started getting her fucking tits out for the lads. I was like, I didn't mind. Because she
That was
gorgeous.
Yeah. When she
But
went over to
nevertheless,
the black side, she was just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna let it all hang out," kind of thing. But with Mariah, that was more different. That was more her choice to do that, because she could have stayed with the record label she was with and carried on doing her kind of easy listening, middle of the road bollocks. But she wanted to go to what I call the black side, which is with the black record industry and all this kind of stuff, and do that kind of shit. But Mariah is a fucking mensch. She's always been in control of her situation. Yeah, she's another one that's fucking awesome.
Chinchilla's completely independent. One of her lyrics even references, "You're lucky. I'm lucky. I know my own worth." It's in reference to the label companies trying to rip her off and sign her. Yo,
Yeah.
put it up.
Sorry.
Put the
No,
video up.
we get copyrighted.
Oh.
We get copyrighted. But just quickly regarding Miley Cyrus, I mean, one of her, they really wanted to make her like a female version of her dad, who was a conservative, in Billy Ray, but he was also a one-hit wonder, and you was only remembered for that "Achy Breaky Heart" bollocks, and that fucking was number one in this country for God knows how long. It's a shit song, dude. But regarding Britney Spears, she has got one song that I really fucking like. It's called "Piece of Me." And it's to do with like the paparazzi and everybody wanting a piece of her. You want a piece of me. Like, it's a great song. I love that song. I hope she wrote it herself. It was really good. Regarding everyone else in the comments here, because we're about to wrap up now. Rick B loves Joe Rogan more than he loves himself. Yes, I understand.
She produces her own beats, and all the background vocals are hers as well. She produced the video.
By the way, sorry, there's one comment here from Daniel Watts. Have you seen clips of Spears dancing with knives? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what she's like now, because she does a lot of she's like a judge now on these sort of Britain's Got Talent or America's Got Talent or The Voice or whatever the fuck. That's what she's doing
still,
right now.
I mean, yeah, she still has a psychological issue, so we're not saying that, but she's free to just do her thing now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure she's going to be sorted for life regardless. People like Spears people never treated Britney Spears like a human being from the start. Yeah, I mean, she got into the industry when she was 15. I mean, if you notice with musicians and singers and stuff like that, when they get in that young, it fucks them up. Look at Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? He's been performing since he was fucking 9.
Well, and she was with the House of Mouse as well from a little girl.
Yeah.
When she was little. So, yeah,
exactly. That industry.
That was a good tune, Christy.
Wow. They love Ginger.
Did you watch the video though?
You love Ginger. I love you too, TLD. Yeah, great video. The snooker balls and all this guy.
Watch it again later so you give full attention to all the vocals and what she's saying.
Yeah. No, she's really good.
Young performers and actors who are made sex symbols at such a young age often never have a chance. Natalie Portman's a very vocal against young actors. Yeah, I mean, she was in one of my favorite films of all time called in America it was called Leon. In the UK it was called The Professional.
Yeah, it was called The
where-
Professional
No, it was called.
here.
It was called the.
Because
It was called
here, it's
Leon here, and it
Professional
was called
America.
Professional in America.
It was Professional here.
Yeah. Sorry, because we already had The Professionals, which is why they changed
Yeah,
the name.
that's right. Exactly. Yeah, we
Yeah.
already had the professional.
And we should,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
So,
awesome.
yeah,
But look
exactly.
with her again. They had the countdown till she turns 18 and all this kind
Yeah.
of weird, stupid shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, Jesus Christ, dudes. Okay, you can
I mean,
acknowledge, even when they're young, that yeah, they're very beautiful and they're gonna grow up to be like stunning and all of that. But then that's it. Don't fucking take it further than trying to think of fantasizing of shagging her brains out. You know, this kind of weird shit.
Yeah, Emma Watson had the same thing.
Yeah, but yeah,
You know.
yeah. Within like 6 years, she was. I mean, she was still a child when she did Phantom Menace, and next thing you know, she's now got a bun in the oven by the time.
How old was she when she did Phantom Man? I think she was only 14, 15.
Yeah, and then by the time they did by the time they did Revenge of the Sith, you know, she's supposed to be pregnant and shit. And she forget that even in Attack of the Clones, she had like a kissing scene, and there was time when she was a little bit scantily clad, like when she was on Naboo, they had her in that black leather outfit, and when she was on the Geonosis, they had that cat monster rip the midsection of her shirt so she could show off her belly. You know, like what the
Yeah,
fuck?
she was 16 when they filmed Phantom Menace. She was about 15, 16 because
Yeah,
they
so
started
she was
filming that
9.
in 97 and it came out in 99.
So she was 18,
yeah.
19 when they did Attack of the Clones, and they're already sexifying her up with that. They didn't sexify her up at all in Revenge of the Sith because she was pregnant. But anyway,
Yeah.
a couple more comments, and then we're going to be done. I saw an interview with Mariah Carey where she was asked what was the last bill she's paid. She asked what's a bill. The interviewer electricity bill, and she said electricity is free in America. No way.
What an absolute queen, mate. What an absolute queen. Do you remember when they did was it Live Aid, the 20th anniversary of Live Aid, and she come on the stage, she had a water maid off stage, and this is a fucking concert about, you know, tackling poverty in like Africa and the world and all this kind of shit. And she's sitting there with a person coming on, giving her a cup of water to sip all the time. Like, you should get one of these. You should get one of these. She turns to the crowd. I was like,
Oh,
it's so
God.
fucking tone deaf. It's unbelievable. But
I just thought like someone like her would still like if she came from like started from scratch and she made her way up and she, you know, she's not a nepo baby or anything like that. And I'm surprised
she's not a nepo.
so-
No, she was
Yeah.
poor. She grew up poor.
So how
You
could
know.
she be so blinded? You know,
No
like,
excuse. No
yeah,
excuse then.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
like Jesus, like I can understand a rich person being like that from an early age. Like brought into the world through richness, but a poor person should know better. Daniel Vancing paparazzi waiting until Emma Watson came of age before immediately posting lewd photos of her. Yeah, well, they did that with was it the girl from Stranger Things. What
Yeah,
was her name?
Millie Bobby Brown. What a
Millie Bobby
fucking
Brown.
name.
Yeah, the moment,
Yeah,
the
they
moment
do it all
she
the
became-
time.
She
So,
became
who's
18.
next?
They were like,
Yeah.
the moment she became 18, they were like, yeah, glam shots. You know, like there's one
Yeah.
shot of her coming out of a car, and so she was wearing a dress, so you could see a bit more than you should, and stuff like that. Like they couldn't wait to fucking get these shots of her and stuff like that, start thirsting over her and shit like
Well,
that.
Stop clicking on those sites. Stop buying those magazines, and don't pay those. Don't give those people money that do that sort of thing, or at least not
Yeah, I
get
mean-
them the money that they usually get by selling.
I don't
them.
look. I personally don't look for stuff for Millie Bobby Brown, but some of the people I watch who are condemning people who are condemning Millie Bobby Brown, you watch those videos, and then they're like they're breaking apart the people who are condemning Millie Bobby Brown for not liking some of the publicity she's getting now that she's a woman. You know, and some of these people
No,
condemning
I'm
Millie
not
Bobby Brown are
saying you.
women themselves. No, I
I'm
know you're
just
not.
saying-
I know you're not. But what I watch is then people then breaking down those people, and then unfortunately you get some shots of her and stuff like that. Even within herself though, like when I'm going through TikTok, I've come across a couple of her TikToks, and she's like in the pool with her boyfriend, and I don't know if she's wearing anything or not, because she's in the water, so it's hiding her assets anyway. But she's putting this out on TikTok. But good for her, because she's willing to do that. But when somebody else is taking a glam shot of you and you don't want it like that, then
or
you have the right to complain about
It's her,
exactly.
it's her in control of what her body and what she wants to put out there. That's perfectly fine. It's
but if
when
she's
other
getting
people
out of her
think,
car and someone does an upskirt.
yeah, and it's when people think that they have a right to post things about you and your body and your upskirt shots against your will, that's where the line should be drawn. And in this fucking country alone, like the way our press acts, it's like they're the ones that have a right to your private life. They have a right to hack your emails and hack your messages on your phone and all this kind of shit. You know, it was a whole big thing over here. Yeah, they think they're the ones that they have a right to do all that, and it's just like, no. If I come into your life and start fucking doing all that shit, you'd cry foul. So don't think just because they're a celebrity, you have a right to their private life.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, that's the end of the show. It's been a lot of fun. Before we go, I want to quickly show you this, my moment of levity, and it's just my mouse mat. What do you think of that? It looks just like Sunny, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I saw this online and I thought I'll buy this. With my other mouse mat, these motherfuckers, they chewed it up. I'm going to make sure they don't chew this one up.
Can I just bring up a couple things, please?
Yeah, go on.
Right, so first of all, Master of the Universe Revolution is on Netflix, and actually is a lot better than Revelation.
Is it a sequel?
Yes, it is.
I've heard it's a lot better. Yeah, I might watch it.
Yeah.
William Shatner's in it, which I was not.
Okay.
Oh, is it? Oh, then I'm watching it.
Yeah, he plays like I'm not even saying who he plays, but he's in it.
Don't say it. Don't spoil it.
All right, and then Killer Justice League is out today, and I'm watching. I've got the IGN review, and just like most people are saying that this is a disaster, and this is called Rocksteady.
Yeah, the game's dead on arrival, for sure.
Yeah, I'm watching the cutscenes. That's it. What I'm going to bring up tomorrow, by the way, because I'm already several episodes, is that currently I'm watching The Artful Dodger on Disney Plus.
Okay,
I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that tomorrow. And I've almost finished it. I think I got one more episode left. But today I started watching Mr. and Mrs. Smith, which is based on the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but it's different. It's still different. It's got Donald Glover in it as Mr. Smith. That's on Amazon Prime if you want to watch that. All the episodes are out, I think, so it's not coming out weekly. So that's a binge fest right there. I'll be talking about that tomorrow on our Bollocks and Banters thing tomorrow. If you guys want to join us for that, it should be the same time.
Beyond, what do you reckon? What time do you want to go on for that, Zam? Same time, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Yeah. 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah. Join us for Bollocks and Banter.
Ginger, I gotta talk to you for 2 seconds when we go off air.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, and so everyone out there in YouTube land, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube. We are on TikTok and YouTube, both platforms with the greatest social media channel you never heard of. Take care. Bye-bye.